And this week, we are back with the Eboa Chronicles again. Last time, we went through a monastery, triggering like literally every trap we could with our faces.
I triggered one with my feet,
Yeah.
so that doesn't really count as my face.
Look, you cannot expect everything out of us to come up perfectly fine. We have also people that recklessly charge, so it's like you cannot blame us. Everything's relative. Is the best way to say it.
Anyway, so previously on, other than the thing, went to the monastery that Alani grew up in, found the
the Arkenstone, sorry.
ruins and desecration, along with a an intriguing stone of interest.
Congratulations, Olani, you found the Arkenstone.
An interesting stone of intrigue.
And so the party is heading back to the camp where the final preparations to put an end to the Sir Walt's orders invasion of Flussburg and be planned and then executed.
Yep.
Alright, so you guys start making it into camp. It's evening time. The leaders of the different groups have kind of, ended their talks for the day. What do you want to do?
How late is it?
It's late, but probably a couple hours before people go to bed, like 1 or 2 hours. So you can do some things, but like you're not gonna do.
Tutski
Well,
will call
Neo-
the attention.
Everything.
Tutski will call it the attention of Diego before going towards her brother's tent to give
Neo
Alani
will
some space.
go. Neo also wants to talk to
Neo.
Diego, so he's
Neo!
going.
Neo!
Sorry, man.
Campaign jumping.
He never. I never knew kyber crystals were used. I never knew kyber crystals could be used to travel between dimensions.
I have a Star Wars on my mind because of all the last Star Wars film we have been dealing with. Oh yeah, Revan-Shepard.
Nah, apparently, okay. Now, apparently, kyber crystals can travel people through time. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
apparently. Anyway, sorry, Medrashi will go with Tatsuki.
Well, Tutski's going to see her brother, so it'll be Alani going.
Oh no, weren't you going to talk to Diego?
I'll talk to. I think Tutski'd rather talk to Diego later.
Okay,
Let
Neo's
Alani let Alani have her conversation first.
If Neo also wants to talk with Diego, so he will wait for if Elani has to talk, for her to talk because he has something else in mind. So he will wait for that to finish and then enter. If Elani is going to talk now, or prefers to talk in the morning.
I mean,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tutski will say to Alani that when she's done, remind Diego to come see me when he's free. And then eventually go to talk with her brother and cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Summoning a dragon to yourself. That's a bold move.
Yeah, no, maybe it'll be the other way around. I'll tell you that he's free and you can go and see him, okay?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying to whenever he's free. I'm just saying whenever he's free, I need to talk to him. That's all I'm saying.
Whenever he's free, you can seek him out and talk to him.
All right, there's no need to go into semantics. Just go. Why don't you just? You clearly need guidance, so I'm not going to get in your way. But eventually, go to her brother's tent.
Well, to be honest, what's his name again? His actual name. Actually, Do Delith know his actual name?
I don't remember if Daleth knows his actual name.
Alani
I
does, but I'm
think,
not sure if Alani's told the rest of us.
yeah.
I don't even remember.
I will
If
just
I did,
Okay.
it would
use.
have been a long time ago.
Alani,
I,
it is in
I,
your journal. It's not in the rest, so I'm gonna assume only Alani knows.
makes sense
Okay,
because
I'll use.
I had two persons name here on my journal that are his, so I was like, okay, is it Gamal or is it Nigger his real one? I will just call him according to how he appears. I
Same.
have been waiting.
I will just use Diego then. Well, to be fair, poor Diego's home place was trashed, so give him some space.
It was Alani's home too, Tutski says, turning back to Delith. Just keep that in mind. Eventually leaves the rest of the party.
Oh, I turned to Elani. Was that the place that you were training? Grew up? I don't really know how.
She
See the
was called a
Medrash.
youngling and trained by a cult. I mean, a order of people.
You see the Medrash is giving Delis a dry look. He's not saying anything, but it's like, seriously, after all the knowledge that you've shown and how she mentioned this before, you didn't hear any of this. He's not saying this. He's just giving that a dry look that tries to communicate that.
She knows that Elani was on that particular place before, but she's not sure that she actually lived there.
I
Okay,
did.
then I take it I take it that out of character, per in character Medrash is like he's used to this kind of stuff in orders and stuff like that. So it's like he takes it like that. So he's like, where have you been paying attention? He's acted to this.
Yeah. I I mean, I don't know where I came from before
I mean,
that.
presumably
So,
parents.
yeah, obviously, but my earliest memories are from the monastery, so
Oh, well, I guess it wasn't easy for you to see it in that state, I guess.
You see the Medrash looks softer a bit. It looks Elani with a softer look. Like not even imagining what it's like to see it, not only in that state, but also the kind of atrocities that were written on the walls and this state of being, taken over by evil creatures and all. That's where he's trying to, to show, like understanding, not trying to talk so he doesn't, rub salt in the wound or say something that it's, not even close to comprehending what she's feeling.
But in any case, let's look at the bright side of things. Do not cue the song from Monty Python.
I
Uh,
was about to try and look for a gift for that.
always look on
On
the
the
bright
bright side
side of
of
life.
life.
copyright claim, actually.
Exactly.
Uh, we were able to take care of the new and ruder inhabitants of this place and cleanse it, I guess. I'm not sure if that's the right word to use.
We got to the root of the problem.
Yes.
That's more like it.
Out of character, I'm cringing. In character, Medrash is not reacting at that
I
at
didn't
all.
say anything. I wasn't
Oh,
there.
No,
okay.
no,
Fair.
you have to say that.
I'm just the voice in I'm the voice in Dennis' head that corrects Dennis' words. Like, no, wait, we got to the root of the problem. Oh yes, that's more of a Dennis line than Tursky line, to be honest.
Fair.
Okay, so
People going in to see Diego then, or gonna continue just to
Yes.
make smart remarks outside
Yeah,
his tent?
Diego Luna, yes.
yeah.
All
So,
right,
yeah, Alani does peek her head and say, Master,
so you made it back. How were things?
it was. Uh, she walks in and it it was defiled.
Hmm.
I mean, it
He
was
looked.
overrun with swamp monsters and
You can see that Diego's kind of got a mix of emotions. There's like sadness for what happened, and also just a bit of kind of analytical curiosity. Like he's, running, through a bunch of scenarios in his head. That is
Mhm.
interesting. I suppose that means any signs for who did this are mutual
um
acquaintance that we've you know met, since you're in the middle of a encampment where you know it's not
Yeah.
necessarily private. He's being a little bit more
mhm.
circumspect.
Mhm.
um yeah, it's pretty obvious. They left the the sanctuary with the murals. It was they were torn to pieces, and oh, and then she remembers we were able to get into. I guess it was your sanctum.
Yeah, just a nice little thing I had where I could, you know, have private time if I needed it.
Understood.
Yep. Uh, yeah, the stone you found is a iron stone of insight. It's a very it helps focus your thoughts. Um, you might find it useful in your quest. I'm gonna just copy stuff over. Let me. It's one. Last bit for the iron stone, and then the specific variety. All right. Yeah. It's something I'd found a long while ago. I used it myself a bit, but ended up leaving it behind uh, in all the commotion that occurred. So when I thought about it and knew that we were in the area, I figured it'd be able to help you with the tasks that are to come.
Okay, that's wow. And gosh, that place is in it's in shambles, Master. I and you know the way it is. It's mostly inside rock. Like, how do we?
With
Can we?
time and patience, that is the way of things. you know, rocks are, even though they last a long time, they're still just as impermanent as you or I. They will be worn with time anyway, and it is up to the living to rebuild and maintain. You know, so yes, it is a tragedy, the damage to the hard work that many of people put in, but it's also not the end. Things will continue, and they'll continue long past either you or I leave this world. And I think that's one of the main differences we have to consider between us and our foes. Are we striving to just impact the world for while we live, or are we trying to leave something for those who come later for them to have?
That's a good point. All this time, you're still teaching me things.
Well, all this time we're both learning, and it's important to never stop. And I'm glad that you are still striving to learn. Well, other than the damage and the unfortunateness of the what brought you back there, was it nice to be back home at all, or was it all negative?
I still don't know how to. I don't know how I feel about being back there, even for the little while that I was.
Well, that's okay. It You don't need to always know how you feel about things. Sometimes you just need time to figure it out. At the very least, if you dealt with whatever nasty surprises that uh, Grandrin left, hopefully any civilians in the area won't be caught unawares and hurt by it.
This is true. Oh, and by the way, and she pulls the gemstone out from her pocket and gives it back to him and says, "Your sanctum is still safe."
The thought's appreciated. He holds up the rock. This is really just a fancy key, but still, I do like how it is a bit more simple in its look while still achieving the same intricate function. That's just a personal taste thing. Is there anything else
Every
you wanted to talk about?
Not particularly. Um, I know a few others, a few of my friends want to talk with you. I
Well, there's
guess I'll
still
send them your
time.
way.
Uh, if you want to let them know I'm available,
Okay. Once she exits, after, thank you.
you're welcome.
And so she
Rest up. It's
exits.
gonna get
Mm,
intense.
Yeah.
mm,
This next while.
uh,
She also exits roll 20 for some reason.
Yeah,
yeah.
so I again I use push to talk, right? Well, I
Yeah.
accidentally clicked W
Oh.
while and that closes tabs. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm Makes sense. Okay. Uh,
so Medrash is just outside, right?
yeah. Miadrashi is around there, base, so he cannot hear anything by accident of what's private between you two.
Okay.
But visible still.
Yeah. Uh okay, so she exits, she goes up to Medrash
Mm,
and tells him he's They'll be good for a little while.
Medellin nods and says thank you, and you see that his head was for a second because he was resting against something. His head was kind of nodding for a bit, but he cleared himself in the moment he heard your voice. And he after he goes there to enter the tent of Diego or where it is. I don't know if it's a room.
It's a tent.
Okay. Medvers, before entering says, um, if it's not much trouble, may I enter?
Oh, come on in, youngling.
Medvers this enters and says, sorry to disturb you so late, but there is one thing that maybe at these hours I consider to be the most appropriate time to talk before conversations keep happening in the morning and afternoon regarding the preparations to be made.
Yeah.
How much has been planned by the army about our entrance into Drakenberg?
We've got outlines of a plan, some details I'm withholding for myself. But right now I think we've got the broad strokes of something. Uh Infiltration team, which will likely be your party, will be dropped behind enemy lines to start a commotion to open up an opportunity for the ground forces to uh, land and then march on the city.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, it's basically try to storm the city before they can get their defenses set up. It's going to be, and from there, we're going to have to cycle and see how much of the forces we can keep together to go liberate Flesburg. It's sounding like the situation's getting tense there.
Yeah, from what we heard, the situation is very tense. And you see the military is struggling with this. I would like to make one request, saying as we have seen so many dragon burns that are from Dragonberg, I'm not surprised that there will be infiltrators of some kind. Any kind of purchase by the infiltrator team. I would prefer if you don't make it obvious in the budget and allow us to do it. We know we have members that I believe can
My
easily
plan
find
was
that
for you guys to
necessary.
be the infiltration team.
Mhm.
I think that Miss Deleth will probably be very excited when she learns the infiltration method we'll be using.
Oh, yeah, she probably will be excited by any method that we probably be end up using. Just and you see the military is clearly trying to get so it's like I think this has to be perfect because if we do this right, we can do a big strike into the forces and make much easier the release of Flassberg.
Yep. Now, the discussions at the top tiers
Mhm.
are somewhat, tense at the moment as we're trying to lock in exactly what we're aiming to do with the expedition. And you've been making a number of claims and promises towards, future leadership of the order. I think it might be a good idea for you to sit in on our meetings tomorrow, so because not all the leaders accept that you're
Mhm.
earnest in your promises about, your future leadership. I don't think I don't
Mhm.
believe that many of them actually believe that you will be able to achieve that leadership. So they're mostly just humoring at you at this point. If you're able to make a good um, showing of yourself in these meetings before the invasion, that'll help solidify your position afterwards.
The Madoshimi says, of course, no problem. Until now, I have been just looking at how you handle stuff to try to learn a bit about diplomacy and stuff like that, since I have not been particularly taught in this kind of politics. But if it's necessary for me to stand up tomorrow, I will.
Yeah, you'll probably want to learn what you can about the main leaders that are present for the different groups, because some are, have better responses to some forms of persuasion than others.
What can you tell me about that? So I begin preparing myself.
Well, the three other leaders we've got are General Marion from Aquarnia. Uh, Aquarnia is a nation with a long and proud history, and they very commonly have to deal with, all the countries on the continent due to their central location.
Yeah.
And I'd say, a very stern but stand-up person. I think my reading of him is that he doesn't really like underhanded tricks or
Mm-hmm.
double dealing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it seems one of the people in charge from Friedland is General Calcus Roulidier.
Mm-hmm.
I would say he's in many ways an opposite to Marion. He is a very he puts on a very arrogant performance, but I'd kind of call it a performance. I don't think he's really all that confident behind the facade he puts up,
Mm-hmm.
and he has very little care for different forms of learning. And then finally, though she does not have a concrete position in the elvish hierarchy, uh, Grand Huntress Isidora of the Silver Huntresses is currently acting as the elvish envoy for the Kingdom of Magno.
I think I know a member of my group that can give me information regarding Isadora's.
Yeah.
In- But is there anything in particular regarding how she's handling these negotiations that I should have in mind besides what I could be told?
I've seen her. She's been making some very shrewd uh, shrewd diplomacy, very carefully getting people to line up to what she is asking for when she can. Um, she is very mindful of the long history of Magno and the elves, though she has very little patience for the religious matters that are driving the order.
Yeah, you see the message notes that and says, what about the other two? What is exactly that there appears to be aiming at?
Marion appears to be trying to maintain a balance of power on the continent. Meanwhile, uh, Calcus seems to mostly be trying to form Friedland policy just to satisfy his own self-aggrandizement. He's not
Mhm.
even really serving the interests of Friedland so much as just his own, just making himself seem more important.
You see the message notes that and says, very well, I will have this in mind. With your permission, I will go and leave you for the night.
All right,
See you tomorrow.
see you
See
tomorrow.
Mirage takes and he goes on his way to the tent of Nadia with various topics to talk in mind, organizing them. I don't know how much time it's going to take. If Tatsuki will arrive first to talk with Diego, or you prefer to do that first before we do the conversation
Yeah,
with Nadia?
I think you probably passed Tutsuki on the way. Like
Yeah.
I described, she's looking like she's carrying a lot on herself.
Hmm.
She look even though she physically she looks fine, she mentally looks
Hmm.
exhausted.
Rasha also is basically in this case I'm mentally exhausted. So to be honest, probably while thinking of what of everything that Diego has told him regarding negotiations and all of that, and what he got to talk with Nadia, he doesn't even notice Tatsuki.
Yeah,
Nothing offensive stuff like that. It's just
yeah,
completely gone.
she doesn't notice either. She just goes straight to Diego's tent.
Hmm.
Master Diego, may I have a word?
Sure, what's bothering you?
Do you think there's ever going to be a way to end these sort of petty conflicts that we seem to get ourselves into?
Probably not. As long as there are people, we tend to find reasons and ways to disagree with each other, often violently.
That is true, unfortunately. Unfortunately, fighting's all I've known since I was young, and eventually it starts to wear.
Well, I suppose the question is, what are you fighting for? What are you trying to accomplish with your violence?
Initially, I just fought for fighting's sake or for revenge, but this quest has taught me that there are more noble things to fight for, and on some occasions, sometimes the better thing to do is to choose your battles rather than to go flying in head first. My main question, I guess, would be, how do I know when to fight and when to leave battle behind?
That's a tough question. I suppose it mostly just takes a lot of experience and wisdom. It's every situation is different.
I see. Thank you for your time.
Yeah. One thing you oh
Go on. No, go on.
for metaphorical battles, young Medrash is going to be uh part of the leadership discussions tomorrow. Uh, would you be willing to help him with that and just be present to participate in those?
Of
Your
course,
family does have some influence in Friedland, so
of course, anything I can do to help.
appreciated.
I will leave you for the evening, but I, I won't be too surprised if I have more questions at a later date. And she will leave the tent.
God, we're so getting copyrighted. Sorry.
Okay, this copyrighted. After that, Tutsuki will just go to just basically find a quiet spot and do her Metal Gear Solid 5 thing.
Ah!
Whoa!
All right.
Are you
Uh,
smoking a
So,
cigarette as well?
Nah, she's replacing the cigarette with a
you
with a
haven't done enough with halflings. You don't have any tobacco.
Oh
exactly.
no.
so
We've already run out of the
Madrasha,
tobacco with that Captain Ann gave us, so whatever.
Madrasha arrives outside of Nadia's tent and asks, "May I enter?"
Yes, you may.
Madrash
Just going.
enters.
I'll be right back.
Okay,
You
well,
may
we come to.
you may enter, and then she completely shuts down and just sleeps
You
standing
may
up.
enter and turns invisible.
You may enter.
Medrash enters and suddenly Nadia's eyes turn bright
Okay,
blue
I'm
and
back,
says,
so you can
Nadia
enter.
exit. Okay. You
Yeah,
roll the magic.
screen froze for a second,
Uh,
and now we are back on
okay.
schedule.
So Medrash enters and says, sorry to bother you late at night. I have quite a few stuff to talk about.
Oh, what is it, Madras? You don't tend to
Well,
visit here.
well, first of all, let's begin with what's going to take more time. What could you tell me about Isadora, the leader of the Silver Hunters?
What I can tell you. Voice on
And
my
it all
side.
comes back to the DM. Uh,
Yeah, well, you're the DM, so it's like.
yeah.
What? I know, if you want me to roll, let me know, but I don't think that needs a roll.
Roll the DM
I.
dice. What DM
Roll
dice?
the DM.
Yes.
You need to know
So
that she likes the color blue.
There,
Of
I
course.
rolled the DM die.
you rolled a D0.
Yes.
Okay.
She
Well,
keeps saying that
you
nothing
know
is true
from
and
your time in
everything's.
the Huntresses that she does have a great respect for traditions and like the history of things, and that she prefers a reasoned discussion over, brashness and other forms. Um, she never put much stock in the various religions and mythologies of the Elvish lands or their neighbors, and she is especially strict about making sure that what the Huntresses like reported and said were truth, and not trying to deceive the people they were working with.
So I'm asking him, why do you want to suddenly know about the civil fantasies?
Medrasha,
The leader.
Medrasha looks around and asks if there's somewhere to sit and ask, can I sit down while we talk?
DM, do I have chairs on my agenda? No, DM.
You have some rocks.
Oh, rocks, perfect.
I mean,
Have
I
a
don't think
seat on
you've got
this.
a chair in your inventory.
No, I know she doesn't have a chair, but
And,
somewhere to sit there, space.
no,
I
I
don't
Here,
have
know what
sit
you
on
said.
this
I
tiny
cast
pebble.
Summon Boulder.
Yeah.
or
Drop the chair.
or the whole of my tent is laid with traps, so nobody can come in. No, DM.
It
Yeah.
starts with
Okay.
a
So,
bear trap at the entrance, and then just gets bigger and deadlier from there.
Yeah.
Again, well, but that's just looking for space when I say looking
yeah,
for
yeah,
something.
no,
Yeah. Okay.
you can see it outside of us trolling
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. Okay. My dad sits and says, "I'm going to be part of the negotiations with the leaders tomorrow, and the leader of the Silver Hunters is in charge, representing the elves in for this situation. So I would
Ah,
like to."
I see.
Mhm.
I see. Big roll. You are feeling some big shoes there, Madras.
Well, I have been given my word left and right about taking over the order and stuff like that. I have to begin to use those shoots.
Look at you. Yesterday you were just um um how to explain
You weren't
to
even a
explain.
dragon yet.
You're not. You were not even a dragon yet. Yes, no. Yesterday you were just um um. Oh, come on.
Yes,
Um,
it was a Pokemon.
she was a Pokemon. You just came out of your Pokeball, and now you no. So yesterday you were doing random work for the church. I don't want to say that, but basically
The order.
yeah,
It's called the order. So
basically the last person in chain is what I'm trying to say.
yeah.
Um, And now you are, you know, negotiating with people uh, to, you know, and taking charge. I'm proud of you.
Medasha that smiles and says, thanks, to be honest, this is the last thing I expected. You see him doing a bit of movement with his eyes, his hands, saying, I just wanted to go to places with the order and help people, not necessarily impose my ideals and stuff like that, but just help around and helping the churches there to make sure that they're able to help people. And now it looks like even if it's not something I would have preferred, it, someone has to take care of the higher ups since they have forgotten that basic thing.
Out of character, there's always Bahamut that can burn everything, take care of the higher ups if he wants to. But um,
It's some big holes.
that is
Out of
out of
character too.
character, and
Oh
there
no,
are like
I'm I'm also saying out of character that.
many issues with what I said. Anyway, let's proceed. So,
Mhm,
okay, I tell him everything,
mhm,
basically.
mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. After that, Medas, thanks you for that. Give me a second because
All
my
of a
dad
sudden,
just brought me the afternoon snack.
Nadia reaches into her pack saying, "Hey, Medrash, try on these blue suede shoes."
Oh no,
So,
not another song.
so Medas says one last thing. And to this he gets up, gets a bit closer to Nadia, and whispering in her ear, "We're going to be the group that's going to be doing the infiltration and destruction there in Drakenberg. So I would like you to begin looking for stuff that may help us infiltrate stuff. If you need anything magical and stuff like that, take the list, but don't but make sure that she understands that I trust that she will not spread the word, but do not call the attention in this case. And if you need any kind of magical items and look for them, then pass me the budget or stuff like that. If you see that require any money,
Okay.
I'm willing to give you my budget for that.
Out of
Mhm.
character. He
Mhm.
literally just told me to go on a shopping spree, and I really
No,
wanted to
no, no,
go
no.
buy the Harry Potter makes you invisible clocks for everybody. So
No,
okay.
I told you to go looking, not
Yeah,
buying yet.
I know I'm joking. It's just the way you phrase it. I'm like, oh, I'll
Yeah,
give you
just
the
take
budget and all that. So yeah, let's see what way I can buy.
No,
taking
he
Dennis
didn't
on a
say
shopping
budget.
spree to Tuesday.
If you need to increase the budget, I'm willing to give you stuff, and he would tell her how much gold he has. So it's not unlimited. She knows
Mm,
the limit. It's basically what if she wants to put what she has or
Yeah, I know. Out of
my lawyer.
that was out of character.
Okay.
Anyway, I wasn't even planning on that.
Mm.
Um,
Okay. After that, Medrash, takes a
yeah.
bit of distance.
Oh,
After doing
interesting.
that.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We will have a field day with
Mhm,
Delhi. Um, yeah.
You see that
Um,
Medrash that does a smart smirk when you say you will have a field day.
yeah, we will have a out of car. We'll have a field day. Well, that means we will be running out a little chased by like a T-Rex or something. Um, so
So we're going
uh,
Dragon Ball. Got it.
yeah, so yeah, don't worry about the infiltration. I wasn't expecting you to go that route though. I was expecting you to be more like um, come on, um, not guns blazing. Come on.
Aggressive.
Not subtle.
Not aggressive, like going through the front door, basically. Uh,
Another shit that says, well, I did have to learn a bit.
mhm.
Swings progress.
Sure, the GM evolved, or is evolving right now. I'm not sure.
After that, Medrash says good night, Nadia, and he goes to his tent.
See ya. Have sweet dreams of
Mhm.
becoming a dragon.
Of burning, of burning cities to the ground.
You see the Medrash rolls his eyes at becoming a dragon and just keeps moving. In a funny sense, not in a noise sense.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Mhm.
is it how night is it? Can I go to Delith and inform her of this?
I mean, yeah, it's getting late. Like you're getting towards like the very tail end of the day, but you've probably got enough time to say, "Hey, we're
Okay.
gonna be doing this."
We're taking
If
hobbits to
Delith
Isengard.
if Delith is on her tent, I will go.
Yep, she's there.
Delith, you don't know what Medras told me just now.
Madras told you something this late in the night?
Yes.
Should I be concerned?
Not really. Um,
Mhm.
so he told me he wants um, some people to infiltrate, not the mansion. What we are infiltrating again? Out of character?
Um,
The city, I assume.
hmm,
The
uh,
fort.
The fort, yes, okay. It's like a
again,
city.
remember that Medrash kind of whispered it to give you an idea of this is hush. So if you can use reference or stuff like that, that's not obvious because we don't know who could be reporting to Drakenberg.
Basically, don't mention it to anybody because traitors may be on our team.
Ex- around because we have already seen Dragonborns from Drakenberg around. You never
Cool.
know.
I think that
Mm.
Medrash character is pretty shifty myself.
Yes, let's kill him.
The thing is,
Yeah, you do
I,
know
I,
everything that's happened is all his fault.
I already don't start, don't, how to say, don't
Mhm.
trust Nez, so we are fine.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
but I'm sure he's hearing whatever I do, so
Nez is
whatever.
the most
Okay.
trustworthy creature out of all of us.
Let's proceed.
Mhm.
So, he told me that I, I could take you and we could go have a field day and infiltrate it, and but we should not mention it to anybody. How does that
Oh,
sound? How
wait
does that sound?
just a second. I
It will,
establish a
it will be
telepathic
a secret.
connection with you.
It will be a secret within with us. Oh yeah, I should have told you to establish the connection. Ness couldn't hear it.
And I start talking to you directly and saying, what do you mean we're gonna have a field day exactly? And infiltrate, what are we going to infiltrate? Are we going to infiltrate the fort? Are we going to
The fort.
infiltrate? Okay. And
By the
by
way,
field day,
out of character, what do you mean exactly with infiltrate? Um, Does it mean go there make chaos or go there check what we are doing, what they are doing, and then come back and report?
Medrash is taking it as we are, from what Diego told him, unless I misunderstood, infiltrating to create the chaos, was it right?
Uh, Basically, you're gonna be
Mhm.
a forward scout unit that causes
Yeah.
chaos away from where the main army's gonna port, and then be basically the vanguard unit.
Okay, so basically sabotage and
Distraction. Hmm.
sabotage, not be found, and then the vanguard unit comes and stuff start blowing up. Uh, right? Not vanguard. The main unit is
You're
coming,
gonna
and
be the front soldiers.
yeah, and then the main unit is coming. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not expecting us to survive without being invisible, basically, and just sabotaging everything.
Hmm.
So
Listen, it's
probably
your job to take out every single Order soldier yourself personally,
Secret
do you want
this
me
is
to
always
do
an
it?
Assassin's Creed
Do
game.
you
one
want me?
at a time. Every single thing must be covered in regular D&D combat rules.
Yeah.
All looks at list I don't have.
do-
56,000.
And then
so Pika,
all of us have to get
do,
ourselves an arm blade and a tuner.
do you want me to do it Assassin's Creed 2
I bought.
style or
No, 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 no,
Assassin's
no.
Creed Odyssey style, which what it means is like do half damage on an assassin kill, except if you have built an assassin build, because that's how it
Um,
works.
I was thinking more. We kill and hide constantly bodies in an empty restocking haystack.
I'd say let's do
Unless
Assassin's
we
Creed
kill the
3.
bodies with fire, which means they're also gonna burn up, so there's nothing left.
Either that or we could do it Assassin's Creed freestyle. Pretend to be stealthy, and then each of us can go take out an entire army by ourselves.
Okay, Pika, listen. I need a hyper beam moment.
Oh god. Hyper beam? Or you need a
You
Dragon
mean
Ball
you need to
moment?
do an action and then you have to spend the next turn doing nothing because you're recharging?
Yes.
Yes, he's firing
Okay, do
his
you want
laser.
Pokemon or do you want a Dragon Ball moment? Because I think one is more beneficial than the other.
Or there's the
you.
Metroid
Let me be
Hyper
level
Beam,
17
but-
for one round.
Let me be level 20 for one round. I'm gonna go for this.
Give him a
Okay, you get
Ten-
one
ten
round,
time
which
boost
was
for
6
his
seconds
body
ago. Your
numbers.
time's already up.
damn it.
Also, the time you spend figuring out your level up counts towards your time in the level.
That's stupid.
That's evil.
Um,
I have already figured my level up. Let's proceed.
so,
So, I want you to explain what exactly you mean by we're gonna have a field day. Are you only referring to us sabotaging and infiltrating and destroying and all of that jazz?
Well, imagine a field and not a castle, come on, a fortress with enemies, and no one there to stop you from unleashing pure magic and watching it as it burns.
Okay,
there
that's
has to be something, damn it.
doable. Bit
Okay.
boring. We
A
should
bit boring.
explode the entire place, but
You're correct, but we don't know where the exploding barrels are, so we need to
Why don't
find
we?
and
Why don't we
we need
find a
to
kraken
make
and
the
lure it to Drakenberg to get it to eat the island?
good idea. Let's do that.
let's sink the
God damn
entire
it.
island.
Yeah. Numenor this shit.
That happens. Medrash falls on his knees there on the boat going, what have I done?
What has science
I-
done?
You
I-
allied with
I-
Delith, that's what.
No,
Yeah.
and you see that he takes his chainmail off, grabs his sword, and impales himself.
Well, that's a bit drastic.
This turned dark real quick.
He didn't meant to make a genocide.
None of us did. It just happened. It was an unhappy accident, which Delph made it to be a happy accident.
Yes.
Delph got her bet cracking, but look at the cost.
Oh god.
Anyway, so yeah, no. Basically, we will infiltrate it. We will check what it's there. We will avoid the enemies if possible, and then when we have made a plan based on what we have seen, can start unleashing um, interesting stuff to watch with popcorns.
Yeah, we'll go. We'll find somewhere to put on Netflix.
Finally, something exciting is gonna happen.
Oh god.
Speaking of exciting things, might have even more surprises
Like
tomorrow.
who?
Oh
Oh,
god.
What does that mean?
Well, we'll see. But we have more things to pay attention to,
Mhm,
let's say.
Things to look forward to. Interesting.
mhm.
We look
So,
for we look forward to
mhm.
bringing Amazon to Drakenberg a couple of 2 months early and subjecting them to the rings of power.
Oh no, you are evil. You're
Are we
true
ready to
evil.
fast forward to the next
Yes.
day?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually,
Oh.
after actually, there is one thing. After
Okay.
Nadia leaves,
Mhm, mhm,
I'm going to ask. I don't know if actually, okay, it's not going to spoil
mhm,
anything. So,
mhm.
uh, okay, so I should strongly suggest that everyone comes around yesterday, tomorrow.
Or what do you mean?
I'm not saying that to you. I'm asking this specific question after you left.
Okay.
To who?
Okay then. I can. I'll try to persuade her.
At the end of the day, everybody will have recruited everybody, and everybody will be on the front line,
I will
except
say this.
Mendras.
I will say this. Madrash was right. Really, is not very well in the head.
Yeah,
Yes, and I'm happy about that.
no, she just delivers.
The last thing that Delith does after she lies down to have some sleep is, I see you've been busy.
What the
Wait,
fuck?
who are you talking again? Now I'm actually worried.
She's definitely delivering on the entertainment here.
She's giving
Are we
some
ready?
ominous vibes.
Are you ready for the next day?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get the next day out of the
No,
way.
Yeah.
I want to
All
take
right,
back
the
everything
next
I did.
day. Do 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 do.
Give me a Fire Emblem time machine, please.
Oh god damn it.
Apparently, this went in the morning. Tutski wakes up to find this random Twi'lek holding a crystal in front of her tank mine. What the fuck does this do?
Yes.
God damn it.
So next morning,
Mhm.
I'm going outside
Mhm.
Elani's tent,
Okay.
and I say with not a whispering voice, but
Mhm.
a low voice, "Hey, psst, Elani, are you awake?
What is it?
We need to talk."
Come in.
I enter inside. So we have a secretive mission to sabotage and
Out
destroy
of character,
the
didn't I say
opposition.
not to say it to anybody?
This is Dennis. What do you expect?
Nothing. That is actually in plan. That's perfect. Let's proceed.
Madrash is regretting informing you to bring Dalit suddenly.
And I think that your help will be invaluable. It will be
Oh.
you, me, and Nadia.
Oh? Raises the eyebrow.
Yes, yes. It's going to be fantastic. Also, keep an eye out for captives.
What?
Where did that came out?
What?
What?
This
What's
will be
going on?
this will be a double mission. We are going to sabotage the enemy and rescue innocent, poor innocent people.
What? This is the preparation. What the fuck?
We- wait till at the end of the day. the last person who will inform, he will say, so it seems someone of our team has found a mission that goes to the moon, and the enemy has it, so we need to infiltrate.
Listen,
I'm
this
looking
is a
forward to when
Gainax anime now. We have to go into space.
I'm now looking forward to when
Okay.
Alani
It's
eventually decides to
mandatory.
tell this to Tutski just before she meets Medrash for the meeting. Like, and Tutski's like, "What?"
You see Medra by the point the Medrash counts the hero. He's like, what the heck is going on? I just asked Nadia to go and look for stuff we will need for that eventual moment. Not right now. The fuck?
How are
What?
you hearing this though? This is just
No, no,
Alani
no,
and
no, no.
Kellen.
This is out of
He'll
character.
probably he'll
I'm just
probably he'll probably hear of it when
yeah.
it comes back around to Tutski hearing it because she will be with Medrash at the time more than likely.
I see an insight check. What is this for?
Maybe to make sure you're not insane, which you are, but I'm not sure why here on the side.
For what's the insight, Tyrant?
This has weird vibes all over it, so I trying to get a read on what she's trying to pull.
You can see that Delit is excited for
We're
the
taking the
upcoming
Hobbit's to
mission.
Isengard. Come on.
And yeah, she seems legit ready to rescue people. At the
What?
same time, destroying whatever the enemy has in store for us. So, are you in?
Well, you said it's just going to be the three of us.
Yes.
Well, someone should go to make sure you don't cause too much trouble. Sure.
Perfect. Also, did you find a way to use that stone?
I am scared.
Now she smirks at you and says, just you wait.
I can't
Yeah.
wait. And you see that Delit strolls out full of excitement.
Did you put its modification to your wisdom score in your character sheet?
Yeah, so that honestly should have been a 14. Shrug.
All right. I just want to make sure your stats are correct. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
It obviously
Alright.
wasn't hovering around me while I slept. Meditating.
I mean, it could have just been
Whatever.
hovering above your face.
Maybe.
It's like
Okay.
I don't know the mechanics of that. I think that'd be more funny, so I want to say
you
it's
close
that.
your
But,
you close your eyes. It says one thing, and then you open your eyes. It says something else. You have a changing book.
See, it's supposed to orbit your head, but like,
Yes.
why would it orbit your head at a distance of 3 feet?
So, after that, I go to whoever's tent is closer, either Madras's or Tatsuki's.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Tutski's will be right next to her brothers.
Medrash, you will probably very, very early on, probably around the first ones to wake up in the camp because of how he has been sleeping. So if you smell him, you will probably smell him already awake, already eating his breakfast, just uh, sitting himself somewhere comfortable, waiting for to see for when Diego prepares to exit the camp, so to meet with the others. So he goes, or when he goes to meet with the others.
Okay.
Hmm.
Ah, I see that you're awake, Madras.
He
Feeling
looks at the
nervous?
list and raises an eyebrow and says, "Yes."
You were
Feeling
caught trying to cross
nervous?
the border.
Feeling nervous for today? What am I asking? Of course you feel nervous.
Medrash looks at you and says, "What?"
What?
Medrash sighs and doesn't touch his head with one finger, his forehead, with one finger looking at you like exasperated a bit.
Sometimes I don't get you, Madras, really. I mean, that
Me-
was
Medrash does it more strongly, not enough for it to make noise, but you like kind of like and moves his moves. He moves like talking while doing this.
ah. Why did I even come here to talk to you?
He grabs his head with his two hands, exasperated.
Look, do you want to calm down a bit? I can help.
Cast calm
He
emotions.
whispers low enough, hoping that no one else hears this. Mind dog.
What did
Ah,
everybody learn about our plan or not
I
yet?
haven't yet. So
But that she's trying to do damage control. Did she do it?
I established a telepathic connection.
Okay. Medash is waiting to be sure, to hear you speak with him. Hmm.
Okay, everyone's asleep. Please.
Medash says, Delith, this is you're just going to look for these supplies, making sure that there is supplies of quality in case we need something magical, so we can make an assessment for the mission that will come in the future. Why are you so excited about something that it stays away still?
I might be bringing more than supplies.
That looks at is it thinks, what?
Oh, yes. It's a surprise.
Medacia says, no, 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 no. We don't need surprises. This is a very important mission. If this mission fails, the attack can fail. So I need to be aware of what else are you bringing, Delith?
It won't fail. If anything, we're going to have additional help.
I am not saying that it's going to fail. What I'm saying is I need to be aware of what you're planning because this is going to be part of the moving operation of the army.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not going to be spelling it to anyone, but this is something that at least the people in the operation have to be aware. So please give me details.
Okay. Promise me that you're not going to say to anything to anyone else, though.
I'm just going to talk it with you,
Okay.
says Medrash.
So, pinky promise.
Medrash raises his pinky, exasperated to you.
I
He
do
waits
the.
for you to finish your part in this.
Yeah. I raise my finger as well and do the
Okay.
gesture, and then say, "I never understood why people do this."
Medrash that looks at you and puts both of his hands in his face again and
But
says,
you're doing
then
this.
why, then why did you ask for this?
To see if anything changes, but I don't know what I
It,
expected.
it's, Medrash it says, it's like giving your word only for childs, a way for childs to understand that when you make a promise, give your word, stuff like that, you are committing to this.
Ah, perfect. So it makes no sense.
Says Medrash exasperated.
Okay, okay, I got it, I got it. So, um, there's some poor people that need to be saved, and I will be doing the saving along with the other two ladies.
This Medrash looks
Uh,
at you serious and says, okay, eh, fine, people need saving, but from what? Says that this Medrash.
do,
From the order.
Okay, where did you get this information? Because this could be another
Oh,
operation.
now, I'm not going to open all of my cards.
Dalith, I trust you. Really, I do. But this is worrisome because we have heard nothing about the order having capturing people. I'm not doubting you, but I need to know where you got this information just so even
It's
just
from a
Diego
reliable
I can
source.
talk to. How much do you trust it?
I would say more than most people.
out of character with her life, he's what he's going to say, but
Yes.
Okay, most people.
Yeah, that might. Actually, as much as I trust you guys.
Okay, says Medrashadis. Okay, I'm going to trust you, but have this in mind. Me and Diego, at least, are going to be conversing this whole day. If something happens, if you make any kind of ration in danger, because I asked you and Nadia the way I did, and I'm doing this mind talk right now, because I know there are dragons from Dragonberg around here, and we don't know where the spice could be. So we have to be very careful. You get it? This is stealth operation that you're adding to this simple look in the look for materials to infiltrate a fortress later on.
Yes, yes, I know that. Don't worry.
Okay,
No one
okay,
will know we were there.
okay. I will trust you, but if anything happens, it's you and who else? Nadia and who else is going?
And the land.
And Nadia and Lani have the ultimate word on this. Make sure I will make sure to tell Nadia that if she doesn't like something where it's going,
Mhm.
she and Elani have the last word.
Okay.
Understood?
Also, the reason that I say this a bit,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
uh, I don't. I'm not sure that these people will want to, uh, help with the war effort and all. I mean, they could be just pushed
Shit,
out that.
Medrasha this just says, I'm not expecting them to help, but if there truly are people being enslaved by the order, then they must be free, whatever the
I'm not
decision
so
is.
sure
So,
if they're being enslaved by the order per se, but
Medrash says, I'm trusting you. Don't make me regret trusting you.
oh, don't worry.
Says Medrash.
When did things go wrong?
always.
Medrash this will say, the invasion on Flassberg, where I unconsciously help, the meeting with the Tatskis Rem, which end up being a trap, the situation with the magician there in the damn it, the word for both for it's escaping me for where the situation I'm talking about.
You
Out
mean
of
on the
character
ship?
is
On
this.
the ship, yeah.
The ship, yeah, the situation of the ship with the magician that was working for someone which we are unaware of.
He apparently was working
Probably
for the.
something probably related to us, but we are not sure.
He probably working for
Should
the.
I should I go on? Says Medrash at this.
Yeah, okay. To be fair, though,
Mhm,
to be fair,
mhm,
yeah, this particular situations were not ideal, and things did go wrong.
mhm.
But where did I do anything to, you know? I
Not
don't
you.
think that it
I'm not.
was
Medrash
that
says.
I was a problem.
Medrash says it's not you that I don't trust. It's the source of that you're getting that I am a bit on worry. I'm trusting you in your word and your trust in them, but I can after those situations you can never be too careful. You
Okay,
get
I
it,
get
right?
it, I get it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I know.
Perfect. So
Okay. Ju-
now that
eh,
I have not added any worries to you at all,
Medrash just gives you a drive look, but not.
okay, I get it, and I
Yeah.
cast a calm emotions
Mhm.
to.
Give me a second to see because I have other stuff that I'm doing. Oh god damn it. Uh, Calm emotions. Okay, let's see. Attempt to suppress emotion. Okay. A charisma roll.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you can choose to
Mhm.
fail.
Uh, Yeah, Medrash needs to be calm, so if he feels a calm sensation, something that is relaxing him but not nobling his senses in terms of how he's thinking and all of that,
Yeah,
he would allow himself to go through it.
yeah. It won't
Mhm.
last for long, but it will be enough for you to
To be fair,
calm
I
down.
cannot. To be fair, I have auras that allow me for not to be charmed or frightened by others. So, but if it helps, keeping relaxing him a bit, he will allow that.
At this point, the camp is getting to
Yeah.
life. The early mornings are hours have passed, and people are getting up. You
By
see
the.
Diego heading towards the big war tent. As he's passing you, he stops by Daleth and says, Miss Daleth, just a quick question, or just a quick suggestion while you're out. Uh, if you
Yes.
don't have Featherfall, I suggest getting yourself a scroll for that.
I think I do. Yes, yes, I do.
Also, I think you'll really like why. Anyway,
Oh,
see ya, and then he
cryptic.
hurries on forward.
I'm liking this mission more and more.
Okay.
That doesn't mean
Medesh, you see the Medesh is weirded out by that interaction, but doesn't say anything. He looks to see before going to Diego if he can see Nadia anywhere around here. Can he see Nadia somewhere around here quickly before going
I'm
with Diego?
pretty sure I will be somewhere around, so you
Okay.
can.
Okay.
On the
Okay.
mast, watching the ocean. Oh wait, no.
No, I'm actually,
Okay.
I'm actually Batman,
Mhm.
and I'm
Yeah.
actually nowhere to be found. And at some point, I jump from nowhere, and I'm like, "What do you want?"
No, Nadia is her tent.
I am the tent. I'm one with the tent.
Okay.
Also,
The
we
tent is
get
one with me, and I am one with the tent. So, no, yeah, you can. Yes, I'm probably I am around, so you can.
Okay.
She's still on the
Medash
mast.
quickly. Okay. Medash quickly gets close to you and says, Delis said that there's something else that you and Alani can do while doing that. If anything happens, you and Alani have the final word regarding that.
Hmm.
And then he goes with Diego. Good luck, he says after saying that, and goes quickly to Diego.
Tutski
Good
will
one.
enter the war tent with her
He, he,
with
he,
her family, pretty much.
he literally came and told me that Dennis told
That,
him about.
yeah, Delis basically told me that there's something else that you're going to be able to do. You have the final word along with Elani regarding anything. Neo doesn't have much time. With Diego here, it means the negotiations are going
Neo.
to begin. Uh, Medrash, Medrash doesn't have much time. He has to be part of negotiations, so he's on the clock. So he's doing what he can quickly.
I love the artificial confusion.
Why is Dio on the
Yeah,
war
yeah,
table?
I,
What's he doing?
I will, I will, I will look at him with confusion, but
Okay.
since he's in a hurry, I
Mhm.
will shrug it off, and will be like, I will
Okay.
see it when.
Yeah,
I will say
just
to myself, I will see it when I see it.
just to
Okay.
close off this whole section. The moment I
Mhm.
see Nadia, I
Mhm.
tell you, I'm going to tell you that.
Hello, darling.
Hello, Nadia. We're taking Elani with us. Our
Hmm.
secret mission. She will be helpful, I believe. Also, I want to see what this stone does up close.
By the way, remember that I think he said you and Elani have the final word, so he already has you're beginning
I
to get an
remember
idea.
what you told. You
Okay,
told me like
just
I
making
will
sure.
between death and me. I will always have the final word. So don't worry about it. I
Okay.
know that what she's capable of.
Yeah.
Mm.
And also, we have one more added parameter to our mission.
Okay.
We're going to save some people. It is infiltration, spying mission, and rescue mission. And probably sabotage mission. And who knows what else.
Stealing all the milk commission. We want all that milk.
Also, Diego
Just,
told me
just so long as it's not a escort mission.
Or a tailing
Oh
fetch.
mission.
god.
It is a fetch quest.
Oh god.
If it starts as an
Alright.
escort mission which turns into a tailing mission, I'm out.
So why? Who told you about this thing?
I can't.
Apparently we're rescuing the Pope.
He
First
cannot.
we finish. First we finish the job at hand, and then we'll see.
So was it one of your um how say,
Friends.
magical friends?
You could say that. Also, Diego told me
Can
that
I
he
say that, GM or Miss?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So can I roll an Arcana or something to try and understand what the fuck that guy
Arcana
is?
would actually probably be a very
Yeah.
relevant skill for this.
You
Yeah.
don't say.
Neo doesn't have anything in Arcana, that's why he couldn't roll Arcana
Thank
or anything
God,
like
I
that.
rolled a 20. I could only roll up to 24, so that's very good. So,
Yeah.
do I have any inkling on what is going on with Delith?
It's crazy. Oh, no.
She took a couple levels in Warlock.
Someone
That
let,
explains a lot.
I prefer Tutski's description to Alani earlier in the day. Someone like Delph near
That
sugar
actually
supply.
is like the most relevant information. I don't think you need anything more than that.
I know, but I mean more specific. Do I understand anything like from understanding what you're saying? Because like, okay, she has a pact with somebody. Basically, understand he has a pact with somebody,
Hmm.
with some being, because I know how warlocks work. But do I get any more info on that? Do I need to do any more research to get more info on that?
I
To
mean, I figured like out of character that'd be it. Like that's all the information you as a player needed to know to have a good understanding for what your character knows.
so I don't know any. I do not know any more info other than that.
I mean, it's not malicious to you guys.
Mhm.
I'm being cautious. Is what
But is it
I want to
delicious?
be.
Which is fair.
Mhm.
Yes, like while I'm having this happy-go-lucky demeanor, I'm really cautious about that. Like I'm with everybody else. I love Delis,
Yeah.
but whoever he has a pact with, like I don't know if Nadia knows, but out of character, I'm pretty sure I'm like, yeah,
Mhm.
that can only end badly.
Again, Medrash is paranoid because they suddenly out of nowhere added this parameter and it's like, okay, I trust Delith, not necessarily the people that give her this information, so someone else is in charge. It's the most that Medrash can do.
Yeah, basically, I am out of character. For example, I know
Yeah,
what her pact is.
I
In
imagine.
character, I don't know what her pact is. She
Mhm.
may have a demon, a fae, a genie,
Mhm.
a genie. Like, do I get any more info? No, is
I
my
mean,
question.
actually, don't you know Della's specific patron type? You've
Does
used
she even
one.
know?
You've used one of the benefits from. You've been with Della for at
The
least one of the
ring.
benefits.
The ring. She's referring to the ring.
Oh,
The
I use
ring.
the ring, but do
Did
I
nobody
understand?
bring the ring?
Yeah, do I understand that the ring means that kind of pattern? Do
Hmm.
I have that? No, that's my question.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
You
So
got good enough to know that.
okay, cool. So,
Mhm.
uh, but basically, I don't know any more info about what. Like, probably it's with a genie. I don't remember what is it. Ifrit that fact. So I understand that. I assume,
Mhm.
but I don't understand any more info of who exactly has that pact with. Basically, he may be a benefactor. He may not. Is that correct, basically?
Yeah, I suppose. Who knows?
That's out of character, but yeah. Question: Is Ness related on that path?
Not directly.
Not directly. Yeah,
It's complicated.
It's
it's
There's a
complicated.
number of
Yeah.
asterisks there.
This whole relationship is complicated.
I want to say I don't want to know, but at this point I want to know, and that is the issue here because
Yeah.
We can cover it out of character after session.
I
if
mean,
Mitch
yeah,
is
The
ready.
pact is secretly
sense.
with Cthulhu.
Oh god.
yes, but the Cthulhu saves the world version of Cthulhu, not the actual Cthulhu.
Is there a version of Seven
Hey, let's get this
Yes.
back on track. We don't want this to
Yeah,
take
yeah.
forever, and we haven't even hit
Yeah.
any of the actual like
I
dice
mean,
rolling challenges.
I'm actually asking here, so it's not that I'm making fun of. It's more like
We
what my
know.
character understands. Okay, sure. Okay, cool. Let's continue. Out of character.
Mhm.
All right, so
Mhm.
Tutski and Medrash head with Diego to the leadership tent. Delith, Nadia, and Alani start heading into town. We're gonna cover this kind of A plot, B plot style, so
Okay.
I'm gonna try and bounce back and forth a little bit.
No problem.
They're both
Actu-
encounters. Everybody roll initiative.
Actually,
Oh god.
because this has already been handled, I need to move these to the GM layer before I move you over to this map.
No problem.
Because I wasn't sure when the party would split.
Mhm.
I can't tell the future with you guys.
I got you.
With us, we're pretty much splitting every single time we're in a different room.
Well, see, I knew you guys would be splitting. I didn't know when I had managed to split you. So, all right. So, Medrash,
Yeah.
you and Tutski enter the leadership tent. You see most of the people there you're familiar with. You see General Marion from the Empire. You see Diego. You see Grand Huntress Isadora. You also see someone from Friedland you're not that familiar with.
You see the moment Medrash enters the
You can assume
the
this is the
talking room.
person that Diego was
Yeah.
describing to you the other night.
Yeah.
Would I be
Yeah,
aware of the Freeland General?
You would be somewhat familiar with him.
Yeah.
Medrashi immediately when he enters, uh, goes personally to say hello to each one of the members. Isadora, give me a second because I don't remember the names. General Marione,
I almost feel like I
and
need to
Calcu.
reorder them to just all be in the same spot. So I'm gonna move.
Don't worry, don't worry.
I'm just gonna,
I
or
can
at least right
Isadora.
now, have the three generals and the
Okay.
the two generals and the Grand Huntress just
Yeah.
be right next to each other in the.
He respectfully says hello again to Marion and Hunter Isadora and presents himself to General Calcus. He says, nice to meet you. I am Medrash, the one that's going to take over the order if we're all successful. When we're all sorry.
Isadora and Marion are polite and fairly formal. Giving
Yeah.
a courteous welcome. Marion
Medrash
is not. He is kind of looking down on you, raising an eyebrow, saying, "Oh, so you're one of the adventurers coming in here, and you're from the Order." Giving a not very positive reception.
Medrash that says was from the order. I left the order the moment they did the attack on Frostberg, and I am one of the ones that immediately jump into making this meeting possible, and I'm not backing down from taking over the order when we are successful. That is, if you are still consider if we are agree on working on this.
Diego says, yes, we have. I'll just, because you and Tutski were not in our previous meetings, I'll just give you a brief recap. We've decided on our general battle plan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, an insertion party will be dropped behind enemy lines onto the island before
Mm-hmm.
to stir up trouble and to start moving on the capital.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Marion interjects.
Mm-hmm.
Correct, and we have not yet been told how this is going to occur. Diego kind of just smiles and says, "Yes, but it will be done." Carrying on.
I'm going to have to roll an insight to have an idea how he reacts to that Marion bird, right?
Yeah, you could.
Or is it obvious enough to not need to roll because I don't have
Uh,
very good wisdom? That's the thing. That's why I'm asking.
well, an insight check might give you a better read on him
Mm-hmm.
and get a better read on the relationship between the people.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'll
You
also
can
do
tell
it.
he's not happy about the response,
Mm-hmm.
but he also respects Diego's, overall behavior enough to let
Mm-hmm.
it slide.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
What about the other members about this?
Isodora seems fairly unfazed with it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you're not sure why,
Mm-hmm.
and Calcus is pretty easy to read that he's.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like he wants to. He's smirking about this and kind of like he views Diego poorly.
Mm-hmm. Medrash for now is going to keep quiet if Diego, has no trouble with that reaction from him.
Anyway, so the invasion fleet will be at the same time launching from this point and sailing to siege the port areas near Drakenberg. We'll then make a quick march from the port directly to the city, besieging it and assaulting it with all possible haste, in the hopes of not causing prolonged fighting. A
Mhm.
force, yep, a force will be left to occupy the city, and then the remaining available troops will then embark to help liberate Flussburg and mop up any remaining resistance from the Order.
Infiltrating is easier said than done, Tusky, to check. Also, causing chaos without a clear plan would make things a lot rockier. Do we have any key objectives to take before we start the invasion proper? Is there any way we can do this more subtly?
Medrash, this says, I think we have enough elements inside on our group to be able to make plans on the go if necessary. But I also have been planning a way to not necessarily have complete detail before we depart. We have a few details regarding all of this.
One main issue is we need to eliminate the leadership, the highest level leadership of the Order.
Mhm.
Case in point, the current Grand Master of the military branch of the Order, Grandmaster Gertrude.
Mhm.
I make names that I can't pronounce.
No problem.
So do I.
Max, this one's already in your journal. I'm just gonna share it for the rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I thought that this was able for everyone. I didn't notice that. Give me a second. There I go.
Yeah, I sneak things in and don't tell you. Um,
Yeah,
like
I thought this was for everyone, but okay, it's good to know. Okay.
Calcus was already in
Mhm.
uh
Mhm.
Cord's journal
Yeah,
at the start of the session,
makes
but now
sense.
it's also in yours, but not the rest of the party because the rest of the party haven't met him, and he's not going to be I don't think super relevant unless things go weird. We'll see.
Mhm.
Um,
Medrash will add to this. We should also not take out of consideration the importance of the archpriest Matthias.
yes, we'll get to him. The main reason I bring up Gettrooped first is he has been in his position the longest. The order is split into, roughly two halves: the church and the military order.
Yeah, Medrash at this doesn't have anything to that. At most, if when the time comes, I will need to know that you send me at least somewhere, because if there's anything, vital size, etc., that the other members here wouldn't have to collaborate, in planning
Yeah,
the attack to the
yeah.
Revenberg. Hmm.
We'll cover what we need to when we get there.
Yeah.
A lot
Okay.
of this is going to probably be made up
Mhm.
on,
Yeah, I
in the
imagine.
short term before. So anyway, um, so Gettroop's been the Grandmaster for 15 years now. His policy, at first, he was relatively got well along well with the neighbors pretty well. However, early on there were some things that frustrated what he was trying to do, and since then he's gotten more and more aggressive. And this seems to have culminated in the invasion of Flussburg. Right now, it looks like the Order is preparing. Once they've secured Flussburg, they're going to probably move on Kustaberg, which is another, the other major city on the northwestern coast of the continent. Um,
Okay.
Additionally,
Regarding this, does Medrash have any insight to believe that after the big coastal cities are taken over, the other under the influence of give me a second because I didn't try to pronounce this name. Guster Rabbit
let's just go with Gettrooped for now.
get Rube wouldn't be trying to keep advancing on the mainland.
Uh, so we do think they would try to continue advancing
No, no,
because,
no.
oh yeah,
Medrash doesn't say that. I'm asking you outside of character.
uh, probably. Part of that frustration with earlier policy is, just
Mm-hmm.
frustrated at the limited capacity for what the order can do. And
Mm-hmm.
if you take more land, you can do more things,
Yeah,
is a very
yeah,
common line of thought.
yeah. I imagine. Uh, Medrash will say, and we cannot allow that to happen because, as it's very obvious to everyone here, that won't stop here. They will keep advancing until they become a big problem for everyone in this room. Says
Do you
Medrash.
want to make a history check?
Yes, I want to. I would like to make a history check, even if my history is a bit iffy, because it's intelligence. Yeah.
All right,
Like
you've
I
got
said.
nothing. You've got nothing.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, Isadora
Mhm.
says yes. This city would probably be one of their next targets due to the historical influence of the
Mhm.
order here, and the fact that we've fought over it for ages. That's part
Eh,
of
eh,
why we're contributing.
I
That'll
should
be
have
coming
made a
up.
really. I should have made a religious check. Out of character, I'm saying this. Yeah.
Little do you know, I've got like a little cross for how each of the different
Mhm.
people
Yeah.
react to different kinds of checks.
I imagine. I
So,
imagine.
just a heads up, uh, the different checks will have an easier or harder time succeeding depending on the character it's relating to.
Mhm. Okay.
So,
Mhm.
you'll want to keep in mind their personalities when you're choosing a check to try to persuade them to do something.
Okay. Mhm.
Um, Additionally, Archpriest Matthias came into power a shorter while ago. Uh, the circumstances of his appointment are murky. The previous Archpriest was assassinated, and there are questions about uh, the the electoral process to put him in power. He's
That's
most
Medrash. That's Medrash in his time there in Drakenberg while turning care about any of these things. Anything that it would be only know there for Drakenberg that he may
you're
know.
familiar with the kind of like that it
Mhm.
happened and that it was kind of scandalous. You're not familiar
Mhm.
with the details. You were more focused on
Mhm.
your knighthood training,
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
imagine,
gonna
but just
assume you weren't that interested in politics at the time,
yeah, no, it makes sense.
considering
But
where your character started this
yeah,
campaign.
yeah. No, I agree on that. But even when you are in the lower drafts, even if you are not looking, you may hear some whispers. I get that with time they will be forgotten, but just you know.
There was
Mm,
just a rash of irregularities with the
mm,
different uh, high
mm,
priests that would make that
mm,
had the voting rights for choosing the next archpriest.
mhm,
Um, so those are the two, and Matthias has largely been sticking with Gertrude's faction of aggressive militarization, which is unusual. Usually, the previous archpriest was much more focused on trade and maintaining good relations with the continental
mm,
powers. Um, Additionally, and this one is much more recent, uh, Master Knight Roberts, formerly the Master Knight assigned to the home island, has been officially reassigned to the traditional continental holdings. Sorry, let me pull up the character sheet because I actually noted my title.
yeah.
The traditional continental territories of the Order, and a new knight has been appointed over the home islands. Uh, One Master
Does Medrash know that name
No,
from
you
his
do
time on?
not.
Medrash immediately at this raises a red flag saying this name was not known at least for at the time I was there. It's no one of reputation that we have heard before. This
Yes,
clearly raises
no.
more.
This has
This
been a
raises.
matter of discussion in this a matter of times. This person got appointed with little to no record we can find of them, going back more than a couple months. There is some other faction at play here that might be playing into things.
Medrash at this says, which is even more weird. Okay, I will need to ask you this to elaborate this point further. Auto character, this is I'm asking Pika. How does the order in terms of rising through the ranks works? It's like a traditional order which takes years of getting or getting recognized through merits and like that. It's like
So the
normal
different
or.
branches do it differently. For the military order,
Yeah,
um,
the meta is the one I'm asking.
so for the military order, the
Mhm,
Grandmaster gets appointed by the Arch Priest and a
mhm,
or
mhm,
possibly a representative of Bahamut himself,
mhm.
because there are actual like
Yeah.
representatives you could find for that.
Yeah, we
And
know.
then the Grandmaster appoints the Master Knights for different
Mhm,
territories, and then the
mhm.
Master Knights appoint their Grand Knights, and then the Grand Knights appoint their Knights. The
But
art, yeah, the priest side do more like electoral stuff. The Archpriest
mhm,
gets elected by the various high priests, and then
mhm,
uh, the high priests get elected by also the other high priests, and then
mhm,
approved by the Archpriest,
mhm,
and then the priests get voted for by the other priests and
mhm.
approved by
Yeah,
the
yeah,
high
yeah.
priest. Yeah. So um
I was asking more experience because I imagine that you cannot, even if you are the Grand Blade Master, you cannot just simply, even if you can simply name someone, you will
nope,
have.
the Grandmaster
Okay.
can.
No,
Generally
no,
though, because yeah.
no, I said they can,
Yep.
but there will be
Yeah, I was just
backlash.
gonna
I
say,
mean,
yeah,
from the
I
rest
was
of the
gonna give
force.
you a
That's
firm. The
why.
Grandmaster can
Yeah.
just appoint anyone.
Mhm,
Normally, due to
mhm,
traditional reasons and just
mhm,
how they, the way they get appointed, where they're appointed by already appointed people, you usually don't get people just jumping up the ranks like this. And this,
Madrasha. Go on.
so and this is a guy who's unknown and
Mhm.
like even in the Isles, not many people know about this person.
Okay.
So it's just another mystery hanging over what's happening.
Madrasha, this will say this is more than just worrisome for him. Even if the Grand Blade Master can name whoever he wants, there can be a problem inside of the troops. I'm not saying that the troops are going to rebel, but there will be discontent regarding someone with prior no background just taking a position. Possible, yeah, but
Yeah,
this
that
could
is
psychologically give us an advantage against at least in terms of the raw soldiers.
this is true, though. On to an extent, you are correct. Though with the the current Grandmaster's long tenure, that impact is reduced somewhat.
Somewhat, Medrash,
Yeah,
I acknowledge that, but still, it's not like there is no impact for suddenly doing this change. It's a bit small, but any
yeah,
bit helps in combat. So
yeah.
this give us a small edge.
So this is definitely one point of interest we're gonna have going forward. Anyway, so that's the recap.
Mhm.
On to today's matters, just final details. Here Calcus speaks up.
Mhm.
Yes, I believe I've made clear that I desire for Aquarnia to pay the costs that Friedland is bearing for, paying for the upkeep for our troops. It is very expensive keeping an army raised, and I think Aquarnia should be, covering these costs. Marione looks exasperated at this.
Mhm.
Like it's come up multiple
Yeah,
times. Like you don't even have to do an insight check.
yeah, I
He
know.
gives just a kind of tired, and as I've said multiple times, the Empire is paying for its own ships to carry your army here. So you have very little, grounds to complain about the Empire not upholding its part of the coalition.
Tutsuki will take one look at
Medrash,
the Calcus and say, "He's got a point, General. We
Medrash,
can't
this will.
expect an alliance can't be maintained on forcing more jobs on one part or another. We all must do our part."
Do you want
Medrash,
to make some kind of roll on that?
Now I'm just saying this. I'm just saying it matter of factly. I'm not trying to make a persuasion.
okay, Medrash is looking at that to see at the expression she's looking at. Give me a second there. Go back to the list of this down below. To Calcus when she's
She's
saying
look.
it.
She's looking at him sternly, not
Mhm,
commandingly, but
mhm.
but more of a fact of mind your place.
Okay, I mean more like in the sense of her opinion, if he can get anything regarding that
Tutski's opinion
of
of
the book.
Calcus is she
N-
res-
mhm.
it's more of a
I mean
case of
from the look. Mhm,
from the look it's she's looked at him with respect but also
mhm.
a lot of discontent.
Okay, this Midrash will say, uh, I agree with my companion, and worry not, because he's looking at everyone. Once the set of affairs in the order is set up, the order will immediately, for the generosity, when I'm in charge of all of you helping, make sure to contribute in a small part to all the economical charges that you will be going through for helping it get out of this endeavor.
Calcus is gonna dig in here and say, "Yeah, how are you gonna get those funds? Right now, I think the only, treasury capable of, covering Friedland's costs are the Empires. And I believe that, for all the previous wrongs the Empire have done, they should, just asking for this compensation for, Friedland blood is justified. Kind of giving
Madrash,
a pompous,
yeah,
self-important delivery.
yeah. Madrash will
If
look
you
at
want
him.
to, out of
I'm going
character,
to.
if you want to try to convince people of things,
Mhm.
you're gonna need to make rolls.
I
So
know. I didn't do the roll because I didn't hear you.
I
I'm
know.
going to.
Just to make
I'm
the
going to
I was
roll.
just gonna make this clear, just for
Okay.
in general,
No,
and
I
the
get it.
kinds of the kinds of roles you can do are like the typical persuasion,
Yeah.
deception, intimidation,
Mm,
also arcana, history, and
yeah.
religion.
Okay.
If you
I'm
want to
going.
try to get a read of them, you can also do insight.
Okay. Uh, regard. I'm going to roll persuasion for what I'm going to say next. Okay. Let me see how good it was. Okay, 21. Uh, he's going to look at Calcus and say, yes, it's not going to be easy. The attack is going to make it hard for Drakenberg to get back at its feet. But that doesn't mean that we can forget the generosity of your free countries going out of their way to helping us get rid of the unpleasant leadership we had at the time. Even then, going back to the problem that you clearly have with the Empire Argus, those matters I don't think have anything to do with this matter. While I do understand the bad blood that there is between both of you, make no mistake, the Order is not going to get involved in any of the business between you two. Seeing as this matter has nothing to do with this, I'm hoping for at least understanding and trying to cooperate in this endeavor. And like I said, well, not immediate and won't be immediately in the best shape. The order will do what I can to pay back for the help that has been done.
Marion kind of
Mhm,
interjects here. Hold on a
mhm.
minute. Are you just gonna be compensating Friedland here?
Everyone says Medrash immediately. Do I need to roll for this?
I'm gonna make you just roll a general intelligence check first.
Okay, intelligence check. God damn it. I had to be intelligence. Well,
I mean, okay, make this a
no,
history
no.
one, but
He's.
you see nothing wrong with you promising this.
I know that it's not. I wanted to do that, but I have a -1 in
Yeah.
both of them. Let me get this.
Diego kind of
Yeah.
leans
Mhm,
over to you and just whispers politely in your ear, saying, "The order is not that rich. You're either gonna
yeah.
bankrupt the territory
Mhm,
you claim to
mhm,
want to lead, or you're
mhm.
gonna be giving a
Yeah, I
pitiful
know.
amount of money, and you're gonna just be discrediting
Okay.
yourself.
Okay.
It might be better to just refuse this demand and try to get Calcus to stand down."
Okay. Give me. God damn
Basically, what
it.
Tutski's been doing with her speech to Calcus, pretty much.
I know, but sadly, someone didn't tell me exactly the position of the order, so I have in mind this. Okay, because I cannot work with what I don't know, and I get the
Yeah, I
Medrash
know.
doesn't know much,
There's
but
there's a lot of stuff, moving parts in this, and I'm
I know.
trying to
You,
communicate the best I can to.
at least what I should know regarding what little Medrash knows of the order and all of that, I would appreciate to be
I mean,
said to
you
me
can
in the
still make the
message.
promise. It's just gonna have
Okay.
consequences.
Okay, give me a second. Sorry. Uh, Medrash, this says, you're were aware, the order is not vastly powerful in terms of economical power. But again, we are not ungrateful for this endeavor. So what we can to how do I mention this right? It is out of character. I'm saying this.
Yeah.
to help the parties that help us without going against any of each other. This means that if there is any conflict between you three, the order won't stand for any of you. They will be helping in the traditional ways of the order in those conflicts. But if you mean just in terms of monetary, you know what the other usually have much better than I do, and I'm not going to just simply bankrupt my order for nothing. That will be unbeneficial for everyone here because I'm offering not just the economical help, but anyway to pay back for what your free countries have done without the order bankrupting and or going against any of you.
Calcus takes a seat. We'll see. We'll see. All right, let's take a break there, and let's look at our
B plot.
other plot. Yes.
Oh no,
Yeah.
they remembered us.
All right, so you're making your way downtown. Well, no, you're making your way into town. Uh, you can see it's a dirt road. Various people are making their way there. It looks like at crossroads, one cart is set to the side. Looks perhaps broken.
Mhm.
Inside. Inside, yes. Perception. No, no.
Inside,
Inside.
I
Does
must
the
know
card
exactly what the cart is thinking.
tell me any lies?
The cart is lying.
The card is lying.
The cart is a lie.
The cart is trying to deceive us. I actually tell you, keep your eyes open.
Perception to see what I if I see any more information other than a car that is lying. And yeah, it became a car now.
All right, just a second. I need to get other stuff. All right. So now I need to pull up something else, making me do lots of work. But the poor life of a DM is all that I have. Woe is me. All right, let's see. What's my...
Oh god.
Gotta... I am hoping this will tell me what my save DC is. No. Okay. I'm just gonna have to guess. I'm pretty sure you beat it anyway. Uh... Actually, no, I can just check. All right. Actually, you can notice that there's something off about the way the cart looks. Something
Off.
seems not quite right about it.
Uh, any attention to detail? Like, do
Like,
I
basically, as something passes by it, it seems like it kind of clips through the image somewhat. Like, it's not, the cart's not quite actually there. Or at least something, it's
clips
not the
through
way it
the image?
appears.
Oh my god, the come on. That theory I came with is true. Mish, do you remember?
Which one?
The stupid make fun of stuff theory
Oh yeah.
about clipping.
Yeah.
Okay. So um, I consider the graphical glitch and continue on.
Exactly. It's a
I will
glitch in the
complain.
matrix.
Yeah, I will complain to wizards to fix it, and we moving on. Uh,
Oh god.
so and everything is fine. So I say to Delith, um, is that card even real? Is that card even there? Can you
But
check? Because
is this the real life? Is this just fantasy?
is this real life?
Make
Is it
an
false?
Arcana check.
I'm also making an Arcana check. For some reason, I'm better than our mage person.
Yeah, I rolled bad. Actually,
Nadia, you can tell that there's some sort of illusion going on there.
Perfect. Can you tell me anything about the people?
you tell me that, right?
Yes.
Okay, I
I
tell.
also tell to Elani. Can you tell me anything about the people?
I,
I'm saying that to
No,
the
she's
to
talking about
Pika.
the illusion.
I cast detect magic.
Yeah, I say the illusion to everybody, and
Okay.
I'm asking Pika any more info about the people that we see.
Most of them look like just like normal people bringing their, they just look like farmers bringing their wares to market. Um, like
I say. Mm-hmm.
it
Continue
looks
with
like there is an actual cart underneath the illusion. It looks like there's something on top of, a second image on top of it, hiding what's underneath.
Got it.
Uh, I say to you in a whispery voice, so the people down here won't listen to it. Uh, follow my lead, please. I get
Um,
ready for things to get ugly.
okay. For
So
your
you'd see, as far as the
give me a second.
yeah, yeah.
Follow the lead to and prepare for if things get like. Should I, me or like Alani hide so they don't know? They don't know how many people they have to deal with in case the stuff get ugly.
You can hide. I mean,
Okay, I will hide. I have the highest stealth. Tell me if you want me to roll,
I
basically,
mean, if
but
you want to roll, feel free to. I won't stop you.
I can keep rolling, rolling. 31, there we have it.
I
So,
also establish a telepathic connection with you
cool,
since
cool.
you will
Yes.
be.
I will be among the trees. Um, do you have any, like, how far I can go without being detected, or you're not doing that?
I have some ideas. Make a perception. Make another perception check.
This will be amazing. Let's see. Oh, this is a bit
You
better.
get the sense that the horse is watching you.
Which horse?
The
Our
one
horse,
horse.
the donkey,
No. A donkey is not a horse.
the black horse is watching me.
The horse by the cart is watching you.
What is his perception? 80?
It's a
Apparently,
Listen,
it's
I
the
try to
Dark
make things
Brotherhood
interesting.
horse. It's Shadomir. He knows
How the
everything.
how the
Listen, how is a horse going to report you for thievery if it doesn't have good perception?
I,
Exactly.
I
It
don't
no,
Basic
it's Maximus from
mechanics.
Tangled.
oh god,
I don't
we're
Maximus
know.
from Disney's
entering
Tangled.
Disney. Great.
The thing is, if he has that high perception, I'm pretty sure he has ways to report us for thievery. I literally
yeah.
have like I rolled an 18, and that skill is maxed out with expertise and the
Okay.
whatever thing I have.
Just to make this easier, I start going down.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm just going here or something. I assume nobody is watching me here. Let me know, Pika. Outside of the horse.
And I'm waving to Elani to come along.
Anyway,
I am.
So I start.
traffic continues to move,
Mhm.
just kind of ignoring the cart that's to the side. It's not their
I,
problem.
I go down there and say, "Hey,
Where are you
Wait,
haying to?
the people there.
They kind of looks up half-heartedly, waves at you. Hello.
Also, do I detect any magical thing in a radius of 30 feet because I've cast?
You cast Detect Magic.
Yeah.
So you don't get the horse, but you do get the cart. Illusion. Definitely illusion. Lots of illusion. Illusions are
Mhm.
fun.
Okay, I'm relaying this
Are you
information.
sure the horse's eyes are not magical? I highly doubt
The
that.
horse is outside of the 30 feet.
I don't think this is a horse. Anyway, uh, I say, hey, do you want any help
You
with those
say,
cards?
hey, 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 hey. Sorry, what did you say? I got distracted by my memeing.
Do you need any help with these cards?
The person next to it says, no. It seems surprised that you're asking. No, we're just, we've got help on the way. We should be
Oh,
fine.
can I browse your wares before you
Ca-
get
ca-
them down to the town? Because, you know.
Oop, did I put that on the wrong layer? I think I. Nope, that's not the right layer. Okay. You can see that the cart is actually empty.
Oh.
Well, the cart looks empty. That might just be the illusion on top.
Mm-hmm.
You're not sure if there is anything in the cart.
Do we hear screams from
I
the car?
approach a little bit closer and say, so, my good people, are you gonna tell me what exactly is going on here, or
Oh,
He is within
God.
range of the horse now.
Okay. That would be. Let me look up the schools of magic again, because I never have that
transmutation
as.
or illusion?
The horse is actually not illusion.
Transmutation then.
Yeah, transmutation. The one that makes it have more than it should.
Mm-hmm. And I'm saying,
These
this
are
is
just people that are just going by. Like the traffic is mostly ignoring them. You know how people just ignore problems that they don't want to deal with.
yeah. I say,
Are
hold
you
there,
saying?
you criminal scum!
Are you saying?
What?
No one breaks the law under my watch.
Are you saying
Now
Delith
pay
is a
the quarter
problem?
fine or serve your sentence.
Oh, God. I'm so happy
Uh,
Madrashi's not here.
Seemingly out of nowhere, a strong, burly-looking fellow comes out. I'm
Did he
sorry. Is there
came
a
out of the
problem
horse?
here?
Oh yes, there is a problem.
It's the Mohawk.
I'm the magic. I am one of the leaders of the magic corps, and you.
What?
Core.
It is core. Yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of the NPCs so I don't have to manage it.
No, bro.
What are you doing?
And you are doing some shady business. I
You
have
like
to
to come
check
here
the
and say
cards.
that to my face?
Yes, I have to check the cards, or whatever these cards are masking.
All right. Make an initiative check.
Everybody or only Delith?
Daleth.
Oh, God.
19, but damn it.
I rolled poorly. All right. All
Okay.
right. I'm trying to think how I want to handle this.
You get
All right.
one
So
round.
what do you want to do first?
I will persuade him. I will try to actually deceive him because let's be real, this is I'm trying to deceive him and say if you cooperate, I'll make sure that nothing bad happens to you or your associates.
All right. So do you want to make a persuasion check on that?
Okay. Oh.
No. All right. Let me go to GM. Actually, I need to also the illusion that was around here,
False.
ends.
Mm-hmm.
You see a lady managing the horse that is getting actually connected to a wagon that seems to be full of what look like simple urns, amphoras, and lamps.
Mhm.
And there seems to be a entertaining guy at the lead saying, "We've been had. Scram quickly! Bring up the lead, Spartorius!" And they start dashing as fast as they can into town, trying to get away. The
Do
horse's movement is 50 per turn. Yeah, 50 feet per turn. So it's moving at quite the pace.
only 15 per turn? I can.
Mm.
Yes,
I mean,
I can.
if Elani wants to keep up by
No, no,
herself,
I can
that's fine.
also, I can also keep up. I can do dash as a bonus action.
I mean, do you two want to try to solo this group
Do
and
we
leave
want
Bellis
to?
behind?
Do we want this to follow this
I
group?
want.
Is the
I
question.
mean, you can
I
follow
want for.
them. I'm just
Yeah.
like, you can either try to force a confrontation here or follow them and then have a confrontation later.
Do we have any reason to,
Because like if they're running, you should be able to track them.
Yes, but do we have any reason to track them? Because they didn't have anything. I'm not sure if the names are familiar. Do we have any reason to, deal with this group, or it is a
Oh
random group?
yes. I'm saying to you that we have to take them out and pay extra attention to the card. Nothing bad happens to the card.
What the fuck is going on? Wait, you said what? You said it has wounds?
The
Yes,
stuff in
it
the cart
has.
are like urns, amphoras, uh, lamps, stuff like that. I love how you guys are just like, what the hell is going on?
Either all of them
I,
are trapped genies or something, or this is a total waste of time. Uh,
I was more thinking in the sense of this is magical stuff. It's Delith involved. I will probably get the answers later. Not overthinking it.
yes. Anyway, Elani, what you're doing, or like Tyron, what you're doing?
So do you guys want to try to force a confrontation now, or just track them into the city and confront them in the city?
Do we have a
Not in the
reason?
city. I
Yes,
would say.
Yeah,
here.
it would be easier here, I think.
Well, they're running away, so they're more likely to get further away from Dalith, which will make it harder for Dalith to help.
Don't worry
Whereas
about
in a city,
Okay.
they won't be able to just flat out run like that.
Well,
Talent,
right, but
Who
they'll be
plays
able to
first?
hide.
Who plays
talent,
first?
talent, karate,
Potentially.
karate chop the horse and stun it, and we are fine.
I can just cast Evard's Black Tentacles in front of them to uh,
Make it difficult
cut them
terrain at
off.
the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, what level spell is that?
Fourth.
I'm going to counterspell that.
Evard's Black Tentacles.
Yeah, I'm counterspelling that
Let me see.
with the bard.
Let me see.
Wait,
Actually,
wait
no.
till
Why should
Chris
I
comes.
even risk it? I'm burning 3. Come on. I will burn 3 of
Sorcery.
my sorcery points and cast it like a psionic spell.
What does that?
I'm using
Except
no component to cast a spell. It just happens.
But that can still get counterspelled, can't it?
If they know that I'm casting something, and they don't.
I mean, they're paying attention to you and they can see a spell effect happen. So I
Yes,
think they
but
can still counterspell.
by the moment the spell actually takes effect, it has already been cast.
Okay, I need to actually see the text for that.
Yeah, see the psionic spell casting.
I'm trying to look for that.
It's pretty much uncounterable because you
Sorcery
give
points.
no come on,
Indicator.
indicator
Yeah.
that you are actually doing something.
What book is that from? 'Cause I'm trying to find it
Uh,
in 5e tools and I'm not.
it should be on Dungeon Master's Guide, I think. And check out the section that has to do with mind flayers and stuff like that, because they are the ones that use. Actually, check the rules about spell
I was,
casting and interaction with spells in general, I would say.
no, I mean
Because-
like I'm trying to look up the meta magic options just to see what it says for that.
Oh, it's psionic sorcery. I used that one.
All right, and then on the dungeon, you said Dungeon Master's Guide for.
I remember that has something there for it, but in general, if you cast something without any components, no one knows you're actually casting something.
Trying to
Yeah, let me.
let me
Let me.
this because this is getting into because like I don't want to just say no, the thing you're doing doesn't actually
Yeah,
work.
this
That
is a
because
6th
this,
level thing, psionic
Yeah.
sorcery. When you cast any
yeah,
spell of
like I
first,
can see the no components thing, but the no components to being uncounterable is a slight jump. But I also don't want to just say no, it doesn't work like that because that's a rule interaction I haven't actually seen.
The thing is, I'm pretty sure because it has no verbal or somatic components, it's the issue
Okay.
that is
Here,
causing it.
here is the, here's the explanation. You can't use counterspell on psionics because psionics aren't magic. Even assuming they are not magic, there could still be a psionic equivalent to counterspell. Such a concept is actually relatively common in psi-based fiction. If it doesn't require components, the casting is uh, imperceptible and can't be countered.
So that's a
Where did you find that quote is the question, otherwise we are fine.
Yeah.
D&D Beyond.
but
D&D
that's for an
Beyond.
actual psionic ability, not for a psionic sorcery.
well, you cast any spell
With no components, that is
from
what
your
he said.
psionic spell feature, you
Yeah.
can cast. Let's see. If you cast a spell using sorcery points, it requires. Yeah, I think it's meant to be a. Is it a spell that would be cast from your psionic spells feature?
Let me post it. However, as Answer's Guide to Everything tells us that if a spell has no components, it is imperceptible to all
Yeah.
observers. If the need
Okay.
for a spell's components has
So
been removed,
So where are you casting Evard's Black Tentacles then?
in an area right on them and
Right on
slightly in
them.
front of them. Yeah. I mean, I include everyone in the area and
Okay.
whatever lies directly in front of
Ahead.
them.
Okay. I guess I'll allow that, and I will instead have the druid cast Dispel Magic.
Oh,
I can
you
counter
weren't
that
going to do
one
that.
though.
And then I can counter that one with the Bard. I have more
Unless
spellcasters than you, Maris. You can only cast
unless
one spell per round.
unless I use my meta magic option subtle spell and cast it without any components as well.
All right, that gives you one round, and then we can do this game again.
Yes, pretty much, which I'm going to lose.
God.
Peter, you picked the wrong guy to play Counterspell Wars with.
Yeah.
So let me
Except
burn
the
the spell
difference
slot.
is that I think I've got more spell slots. Also, you've only got so many spell points, and
Yeah.
so many spell features. All right, so that does actually give you a turn to get fast, get closer though.
Actual question.
Yeah.
Initiative list should we roll?
Yeah, we're gonna, since we're in motion, we've
It's
had one round of running versus you guys. I'm gonna say that's 50 feet. I'm gonna just move you guys to be relative to that, and you'll have the one turn of catch up from the needing to cycle through fighting over spells again.
Uh,
So about right
uh,
here.
you have
Yeah.
in mind, Cloud, that you should probably roll initiative when the initiative bar, the
Yeah,
turn order
is up.
bar is up.
I don't know where we just put it.
The idea is to know how to put it, so we make the job easy.
Everything is fine.
All right. And then least likely
Uh,
to die. You.
oh, the initiative is not in turn order too.
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, you've got actually the worst. So I'm gonna actually run off of you. Wait, you're already up. Right. So you ploop. Why is Medrash on this?
Don't ask
Ah,
We
me.
don't
we
I'm
we
not
don't see
not
here.
Madras.
me.
You set up this, not me.
Madras, it's all your fault again.
And there's two Nadias.
What?
Ah,
The 14 is the new.
yeah.
Is
Try.
the new
There's
roll.
two Alanis. Alani is 18. I'm gonna get rid of the 16.2. There's a Tutski on here for some reason. All right. Does everyone see their character on this?
I only see
Not me,
somewhat
not me.
as
You
I
don't see
don't
a
see
Delis on
Dennis.
it?
Yes, I don't.
We see
You haven't rolled
Yeah.
initiative. That's why.
No, she did roll.
the
She got
19 at the
a
start,
19.
Oh, right. Here, I'll just.
and we only see I think the bard. We don't see anybody else except if
Just,
you count
I just rolled it
everybody on
for
the
the
thing.
bar just to not.
Okay.
Well, I can roll them all separately. Let me.
Up to you. Just tell
Yeah.
us that everybody's playing on the same turn and we are fine.
All right.
Uh,
Actually I will roll them all separately,
Oh,
just
quickly.
because
okay.
this is reasonable for that.
Okay.
Is that? Why is it still called that? Whatever. Oh, I got no idea. All right. And then no, not the horse. The horse is taking the turn with the druid. And then let me get this guy up. Ah. All right. There we go. All right. So, Bard is gonna delay turn until,
The horse. One of the horses
or no,
playing.
the horse goes at the same time turn as the
Was the
druid.
druid.
The actually the Bard can go now, but frankly, I kind of don't want. Well, what's the range on those 60 feet? All right. Yeah, the Bard's gonna delay. So I'm gonna pop this to here. And then the fighter's also gonna delay. Well, no, the fighter will hop on the cart. Let me zoom in. I am making this my screen like
No problem.
unlegible to myself. I've got too much stuff. Why is this having issues just not letting go? What the hell? Okay. All right, so the fighter gets on the cart and later to front. So fighter gets on the cart. Delith, go.
Okay.
And then how
Let me.
big is Everard's tentacles of rape?
It's 20 foot square.
20-foot square, not 20-foot. They're right. It's 20-foot square, so that'd be that.
We can use that one as an indicator.
Is it 20-foot radius or 20-foot diameter?
20-foot square on the ground you can see within range. For the duration, pretty much it's that. Let me.
Okay. I assume, yeah, that's good enough, I think. All
It
right.
should be. Let me put on square. It should be that.
See, that's why
Wait,
I was.
hold on.
It's four. It's four squares in every direction from the point of.
Okay, so
We're assuming. Yeah, that.
That,
No,
but way further down.
I just see is a 20-foot square on the ground. Period.
do you
Hmm?
want to print off the spell real quick?
Oh yeah. Uh,
Just keep. Yeah, it just says a 20-foot square. So that would just be 5 squares wide.
I thought that was 4.
Ah, why can't I select the square anymore?
oh god.
Whatever. We'll leave it be.
uh,
So that's 5 squares by 5 squares. No,
okay.
4 squares by 4 squares. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
actually what I had originally. Okay, good to
Okay,
know.
okay.
All right. Is that all you, or what are you wanting to do with your turn?
Yeah. What do I want to do with my turn? How can we stop these guys? Okay. What is the distance? Uh-huh. This is the warrior, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. I will use an Eldritch Blast and attack this one.
All right. That's force damage, right?
Yes. Oh no. Actually, let me see if that works, because I did it hastily. I don't think that works. I'm not sure. Oh, it does work. Okay.
14 misses.
Yep. Uh, the second blast. It's a
That
19.
hits.
Okay. Add four more to that because it takes only the +5 from the charisma modifier. I can add my proficiency in one of the blasts as well,
Okay.
so it's a +4.
All right.
And the third one,
Is another 14.
it's another 14. Now I can use a bonus action as well.
The bard has some health. I see.
See, there's a reason I was doing health calculations yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You don't say.
Ooh. Ooh. Interesting. Okay. And I will burn one more come on. Sorcery
Sorcery
point.
point.
Two more, sorry. To quick cast. Oh my god. To quick cast, I'm sorry, synaptic static. an intelligence save throw from
I'm
all
gonna
of them.
counterspell that.
Can you though?
I've got 2 fifth level spell slots. Yes.
I mean the distance. It's more than 60 feet, as we are now.
Is it the point that the spell hits that I counterspell, or the point
It's
that
the
the spell is
cast.
targeting?
It's the caster actually,
Okay, let me.
because you're trying to. Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's the
yeah. Don't
a
worry, Pika.
creature. Yes, you're
Yeah,
right.
I had quite
All right. So who are you casting that
extensive.
on? Okay. Each creature within a 20-foot radius sphere centered on that point must make intelligence saving throw.
Yeah, I'm casting
Okay.
it
All right.
there, and let's see.
So int saving throws.
Oof.
All right.
I'm half expecting one of them to pass it. Yeah, that's certainly a pass. Oh.
All right. So
Okay.
8d6 damage.
Yes. Roll.
Does that include the horse?
Oh my god.
The
Yeah,
horse is immune.
yeah, well, I
It's
mean,
one freaking amazing horse, okay?
The horse is all powerful, all seeing, all knowing.
I rolled pretty
Don't
low.
question the horse.
I rolled pretty low on this, but
All
well,
right.
whatever.
I'll get you your.
Everyone takes well, the one that uh rolled the save takes half and suffers no other ill effects. The other two take 20 and the added effect.
Yep. Fill muddle thoughts for 1 minute during that time. Rolls d6 and subtracts the number rolled from all its attack rolls and ability checks as well as Constitution throws. Okay. Her can make intelligence at the end of each. Okay. So that
And
makes
they
it.
can, yeah, and they can repeat the save at the end of.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the first turn in the thing. Evard's Black Tentacles. Let me see.
Yeah. So that means I need
This
to.
is a dexterity save. Yes, it is enough, so he's not entangled.
But he still takes damage, right? Yeah.
I think it takes half, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
No, I think it's none if it.
Spirits on top, we just read it.
Yeah, it takes nothing.
All right, takes nothing. All right. I'm gonna actually. No, I'd have to do the effect again if I delay again. That is. Well, if I.
Oh, and
Maris, would you say it's fair if I continue delaying my turn? I don't deal with Evard's Tentacle when the Bard comes up on the same turn order? Would
yes,
that be fair?
I mean, yeah, why
Yep.
not? Also,
All right.
I will.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
just push it behind the druid.
I will also make my movement to get closer because why not?
All right, Alani, it's your turn.
How much movement do I have to make? That's a lot of movement.
And the worst part is that section you will have to do a saving throw too.
The moment you
Because-
enter.
Yeah.
So the
I
trick
can
would be
grab
I'd
this
fly
again.
over it.
Yeah.
Why is this so like random for whether or not I can grab it? Let me.
Okay,
No idea.
because you need to grab the edges or
I
something.
tried to grab the edges
I don't know
and it
then.
didn't work. That's
I
Evard's
believe you.
Tentacles.
Yeah, it's extremely. I don't know how to.
Finicky.
Yeah.
So the trick would be that I will want to land in front of them.
Oh, actually, if you go there, because this the area is directly in front of them, just to come on.
You can go around it, yes.
Yeah. I mean, the effect should start from that point and forward.
Yeah.
So
Oh, you want it to
Right.
be like that? I thought you also wanted to have the cart.
yeah. But
That's
the
why
card.
you kind of did this way, but you could have it down here.
Question. The card
Yeah.
moves because of the horse, right?
Yes. So you don't
Okay.
care about the cart then. Is that what you want?
Actually, we can all hit them from a distance. So
Except
Alani
Elane.
can't.
All
okay, okay.
except Alani.
Leave it there. Leave it there. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
That was
But
the initial.
but
So
yeah, Darren, you could go like around here and go in front of the bar if you want to do that, or like other
again,
ways,
again, the idea was to fly in front of them
or
and
that.
like probably land what would technically be over. Oh gosh, I can't do this over in the black.
Yeah, that's the problem with the position where they are.
Do we want to just move everything real quick? Because
Yeah,
right now
we could do
the
that.
territory is unreflective of
Where we are.
actual
Yeah.
positions here. Let me
Let's
don't
just
move
do that.
anything. I'm moving the entire thing.
Okay.
Let me check. I think that's a good spot to have everything for now. Is that
Yes,
Yay!
Yeah.
all right?
Yeah.
we assume not, and we assume
Yeah,
nothing
you're not in the
exists
trees.
around.
You're on a
We are
Move
on the road. Yeah.
featureless
the.
flat plane that a physicist loves.
Okay, cool.
I will say try to collocate a bit better the tentacle thing that she cast because it appears like something
Yeah,
is
it did
half
not move
inside.
great with everything else. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
All right, so let's see if I take the step of the wind to dash, would that actually? Let me do another check on that.
If you dash, you have 100 feet movement or something.
110.
Even better.
It's just that would be my bonus action. I hate that, but oh well. That'd be my only method of being able to do anything on this turn. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. Bye, Monty. I'm flying away.
Whee!
Okay. Let me open up my character sheet because that's going to be me burning a key.
You should be able to just do the green bar, I think.
Well,
Yeah,
I
if
mean,
you
I,
just
I
the
I
green
also
bar.
have I also have something set up for how many wings I have left and how many breaths I have left.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
speaking of which,
Breath
Oh, I
of
forgot about
wild.
breath. I have forgotten about the breath.
Breath of the Wild.
All right, so
Oh, it
that's
was
Dex saves.
upgraded.
Nice.
So again, my die got upgraded, and I got to add another die to that. So
All right,
But
so
don't forget that you are.
One save.
Don't forget that you are retracting a d6
Isn't it
oh,
only
you're right.
Constitution?
from the two people that
Well, only
took
one of them
the.
passed, so I just have to do.
I-
They all failed. Okay, cool. It says
Uh,
Dex in
wait,
the block.
wait. It says during the time it rolls, it attacks and ability checks as well as Constitution saving throws to
Oh,
maintain
then okay.
concentration.
Yeah. No. Then you don't.
Constitution saving throws to maintain concentration. Does that?
Yeah.
Uh,
No. It's nothing happens. The one that rolled the 5 doesn't roll anything and
Okay,
passes.
all right. So, all right, plus 22. To
also we
front.
can't see. There we are.
Yeah.
oh wow, is that druid?
Wait, was that the druid that saved?
Oh, you're right.
So that should be at like
Minus
31.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Fixed. All right.
Okay, cool. Now, I do believe I still can swing
attacks?
one more time. No,
Or
because I
no,
used
you
my
replaced
bonus action to
To f-
take Step of the Wind.
and then one of your attacks was the breath.
Yes. And so I'm just going to go ahead and swing at the bard.
That misses.
Darn.
All right. I am going to dispel the tentacles.
Before you make
Before you,
a dexterity save to see if
You're
they
right.
take any.
Yeah, I still would take the damage if I fail.
You don't fail.
Yeah. All right. So dispel. It's 4th level, right?
Yes.
All right. Just wanted to check my
Like,
spell slot.
I will use another counter spell on that.
You already used a spell this turn. You already used the spell
Yeah.
level spell slot this turn. You can't counterspell.
On my turn.
Yeah, you can only use one per turn, like per round. I'm pretty sure. Right? I'm pretty
Uh,
sure.
I don't
on
know.
your
I'm pretty sure
turn, you can
reactions are
use it
still
once,
reactions
and
are still
yeah,
reactions.
and
No,
still,
I mean, like, I
that,
think you're only allowed to cast one spell level
yeah.
spell.
You can cast only one leveled spell on your turn, not the round.
I thought it was round. Let
Uh,
me.
check it.
where does it say that so we can check it?
It's either in the spell section or in the general description. I'm trying to
Plus
remember.
counter spell, I'm pretty sure is an exception to the rule.
It might be.
Let me check. Yes, sage advice from Crawford. It says you can still use your reaction to cast a counter spell because it is
all right, fair enough. I'm counterspelling your counterspell with the bard because the bard has not used its reaction or its turn.
no.
I
It is an
win.
uncounterable counter spell.
Are you burning the? Actually,
Yes,
no.
I will
You
burn
it,
all of my.
then
I
you're
will
gonna
You
have to roll if you're casting counterspell as a 3rd level spell because I was doing dispel as a 4th.
Oh, you're right. Hmm.
Oh,
Actually, I'm going to burn a 4th level as well, just to make sure.
All right, so you still have your 3 sorcery points then, but that still means I get to counterspell you.
yeah.
No. I'm casting it as a 4th level spell, but I'm burning one of my sorcery points to cast it with subtle spell.
And then subtle spell is it has no effects, right?
Without any somatic or verbal components. If the spell has a material component, it doesn't count.
And I don't remember if this one has components. We're making this really fun, aren't we?
Yeah. This is the reason why I cast Evart's Black Tentacles
Wait,
as
jeez.
a psionic because it has material
I'm thinking
component.
I want a specific meme. I have one in mind that, god damn it.
Counter spell, one reaction, just somatic. So that means it is not counterable. All right. That's fair. The bard goes next. I'm going to just delay with the druid
Okay.
the rest of the turn. And then the bard will dispel magic.
The bard has to roll, or he
The
did
bard,
roll.
we did the roll for the bard
Oh,
earlier.
okay, perfect.
Yep. I've been delaying just so I could get my team's turn close to it. I should have just had them all take the turn with the bard. That would have been simpler,
You can
honestly.
do that.
So so you countered the main action. I want to keep the movement for the druid, which is why I delay. Well, so I have the druid queued to have horse and team dash again, start moving as soon as the tentacles are gone.
Yes, but if you delay with them, then I don't use a counterspell because they have delayed the turn, right?
I mean, they're both basically both casters are going to end up using their dispel magic to get rid of the spell, and you can only
Okay,
counterspell one
okay,
of
okay,
them.
okay. Just to make it simple, I'm countering the first dispel, and the
Yes.
second one passes.
Yes. All right. Ugh. We good now?
Yes.
Did,
We're
did,
finally
did, did the spell hit the table at this point?
I'm looking for a meme, trying to make myself more interested on that than this
I mean,
because
Yo,
yeah.
I hear you don't like counter spells.
What meme? I have posted like 4 already. Choose your poison.
Alright.
There's one very obvious one that it cannot come to mind. It's more card game related, but it feels this
Alright,
quota
so
perfectly.
that's the action for the bard, which means the move is going to be also getting on the cart.
I like the one with the potions of poison.
Front. The front. And then the druid is going to get on horse and they're going to resume running away.
Wait. Why the druid is going on the horse? Didn't he actually try to do an action?
That's the movement of the druid. And then the horse uses its movement to go forward.
1 second. 1 second. Who did what action right now? Because I'm confused.
Alright, we had a
Okay, okay, okay.
giant dispel magic fight, and then the bard used its movement to get on the cart. The druid used its movement to get on the horse, and the
Okay,
horse used its movement to start moving.
1 second. Who dispelled?
Did the horse run around me?
Both the bard and the druid dispelled.
who dispelled first? Because if the druid dispelled first, he cannot use the movement later to jump on the car. Because
Why not?
he's using an
Ready to
action.
action.
Okay,
No. Everything is fine.
okay, cool.
The only thing that can be done now is Elani has the chance to make an opportunity attack.
On the bard, yes.
Yeah.
On the
Okay.
bard. Okay. Let's see.
Ooh.
All right. That hits.
If you can
Okay, so
stun him, that would
I'm going
be
to go. Yep,
amazing.
that's exactly what I'm going to do. Maximum damage.
Maximum.
All right.
Maximum damage.
And yeah, let's do a stunning strike. So that's going to be a constitution saving throw.
All right.
Bard
So that
is
means
stunned. She is not even on the cart.
no. The bard is not on the cart. The rest of
Yeah,
the team is.
The rest moves, but he stays behind.
All right.
Oh god.
We're not going to use the full move. Nadia, it's your turn.
Let's see. Where am I at this point?
You're not going to use the full move.
So I certainly doing dash with a bonus action. 1, 2. Hold him
Alright.
up, please. Okay, sure. Let's see. 12 squares. That's here, right? Yep. 12 squares is kinda here. It's this line. I cannot go more, right?
What?
What
I
line?
can't.
We can't see. We can't see.
Sorry, I meant here.
Yeah.
I cannot go more than 60 feet, right?
No. You
No.
have
Okay.
30 movement, right?
Yep. Let me just do some calculations quickly because I may want to be here or something like that. Um. Perfect. So since I have no reason not to do that, I attack the bard.
Okay.
Don't forget you have advantage.
It's
I
true.
You mean I have sneak attack or I have advantage?
You have
You-
advantage.
Yeah, you have advantage.
Oh yeah, it was stunned.
She's done.
I'm rolling a d20. Fine.
Is
Yeah,
it a
sure.
she or a he? Can't tell.
The bard's a
first one
he,
is
the druid's a
her.
she, the fighter's also a he.
Okay, so
The fighter we could see.
that is 12 damage and sneak attack is I'm rerolling that one. Um, +2, so
+2.
24.
24.
That is 36 damage.
And I do wells from the grave, 14 necrotic.
On who?
On who?
Can I target the horse?
Yes, you can target the horse.
Is it immune to damage?
You don't know yet.
That's
I
fair.
mean, it's not
That's
that I'm.
actually fair. I mean,
It's fair. I'm not laughing, honestly.
Might
I'm
say-
expecting anything.
okay.
I'm expecting to become the horse like a holy messenger of one of the gods.
I attack the horse because it looked at me funny. Now we can proceed.
Okay, good to
Okay.
know. Is that it for your turn?
Yes.
Does anything happen to the horse? Do we
No.
see? Do we see rot or anything? No.
Nope, you
It's
don't see anything.
it's the tank
Alright.
horse.
Again, the horse is the envoy of one god, probably Anger, the one that made the pact with Lilith. Moving on.
Oh shit, I forgot some of the things I could have done. Fuck. Alright. Okay, fighter
To
is
question the
going to,
fighter, because it's considered next to a lanyard. No.
yes, it's getting
Okay.
getting off the cart and attacking here. Attacking Alani.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Hmm. I will get
Time for another.
closer.
Oh, the counterspell, the counterspell, and the counterspell, the counterspell. Time for
Uh,
sleep again.
So I will use.
I'm seriously looking for that Yu-Gi-Oh meme that some anime did that I can't find, which I think fits perfectly for what's going on.
Okay, I will use an Eldritch Blast. The first thing I'm going to do.
Who are you targeting?
The first one targets the bard.
Okay, you have advantage.
Okay, let me.
I'm gonna counterspell that with the druid.
Uh,
Okay.
and then you're going to counterspell that with the other one.
No, he's
Yeah,
just gonna use
moving
his
on.
other Eldritch Blast.
No, it counts as all 3 darts for the Eldritch Blast.
Yeah. It cancels
Oh.
the whole set.
Yeah, that's
But-
why he said whatever else that it's countered by the other one. Moving on.
No, the other one is stunned.
The other one is stunned, yes. But that means that I can use. I will burn yet another my 2 last sorcery points to quick cast another set of Evard's Black Tentacles on top of them.
All right. Where do you want?
Not on me.
I'll be
Yeah,
moving
not-
it where you ask for. Now, I'm pretty sure this is where you want it, right up here where it's useless.
Yes. On here. Yeah.
Okay. She's on the horse, just so you know.
It is on the horse.
She's on the horse.
You should have targeted her, Cloud.
Like I
Okay,
would have done.
the horse though.
The horse
Uh,
can be entangled.
Exactly. Okay.
I would have done 12 damage. Does he has a concentration spell?
We don't know.
Not up right now.
That's the thing. Like
Actually, we would
I would
know
have done
if
12
yeah.
damage. That's all. 14.
So Yeah, that's my turn.
Like till then, the horse hasn't taken damage, so
All
yeah.
right, Ilani, your turn.
The horse has been invincible this whole time.
And you burned all the sorcery points. Amazing.
I will regain sorcery points next turn. Don't
We
you
were,
worry about it.
we were going to do an infiltration mission, right?
No,
Yes. You're going on a shopping spree.
shopping spree that became this weird
Cloud's not paying
mission.
enough attention to know what's happening. Anyway,
We're
to
definitely
our slog of a combat.
we're
Ilani,
definitely
it's your turn.
we're definitely shopping here.
Medrashi, when she sees that all combat damage and all of that, it says, at least you managed to research what I asked you to. Why did you ask us to research?
Karen, non-lethal the bard at least. Reminded.
Yeah, first two swings.
All right. One hits.
Did you just copy Madras?
I might have taken some notes.
Except mine is interception. This is block.
I modified it a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, don't forget that you have advantage.
Yeah, so that's
Oh.
one. That's one attack.
That's one attack. Okay, yeah, I forgot about that. Anyway, there's the second one.
Yeah.
Can't exactly
My
lock it in,
God.
can you?
All right.
It was non-lethal, right?
Yes.
Doing anything else?
Um. Hmm.
God damn it.
I'll pull the group. So, druid or fighter?
Druid. Damn this! Damn this tab! Sorry about it.
God damn it.
So are you gonna go for the druid or no? You have to go into the tentacles.
Do I?
You can go.
I mean, do you trust the
here.
horse to let you on it?
You can go here.
Do I?
Do you? Oh, so you're breath weaponing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. So that's another 16. All right.
And then my
What are you using?
final strike is going to be on this guy.
All right.
Oh no!
No, you missed.
Oh
Yeah, I
God.
Bard's down, druid.
Dexterity!
Options. On the horse for now.
Yeah.
I
The
need
god
to
horse, not
yes.
any horse.
the best horse.
That's trying to compare him to another kind of horses. They're below him.
All right. So Bard is on the ground. I think I need to sunbeam.
Wait, are you burning the bard?
He's on the ground. I can hit in the air above him. He'll be fine.
No, I was like, as you were saying that, I was like, he's going to heal him.
Question:
Like,
Did the horse get entangled or no?
Uh,
That's
let
the
me.
important.
That's a
dexterity.
deck save, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the horse is entangled.
Ah, perfect. Does it matter for me to roll damage or I guess no?
Uh,
It's the
here,
god
let me.
horse.
Yeah, don't worry about damage.
Okay. It's the god.
So, Alani and Delith, you need to make a con save.
A con save, you say?
A con save.
Mm. 68 radiant. Okay. Actually, oh, what level this? Yeah. Okay. Very well. Let's roll it. See what
Hey.
happens.
Alani avoids it.
She's still taking half damage.
Nope. Evasion. I take no damage.
Oh,
God damn it.
20!
Ah, jeez, your dice.
you weren't prepared enough.
Yeah.
Actually, what save is it? Constitution, you said.
Yeah.
I think
Uh-huh.
evasion only takes into account dexterity.
Oh, that's right. That's a dex
Yes.
save, so you still take
Oh.
half.
Is it?
Yes, yes,
So
yes,
you're both
yes.
taking
They are
14
correct.
damage, and I'd like a concentration save from Delith.
Oh yes, I'm rolling it with advantage because of my eldritch mind. Let's see.
All right.
It's 14 damage, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So 16, more than enough to keep it.
Okay.
All right, Nadia,
Guess what?
you're shooting at.
Steady
Nadia.
aim. I'm attacking the druid
Okay.
with advantage.
Mhm.
That is more than enough. That is more than enough. And I expand one of the tokens to do wells from the grave.
Mm.
To kill the unconscious bard. No, okay, I'm joking. And to
Make a non-lethal attack on the bard just to kill
God
him.
damn it.
so I can
Perfect
kill
score.
him. That is on the
Oh, and I need to make a
whatever.
con save for concentration.
Of course.
I think no, that doesn't make it. I need a
I
couple
have a
more.
what? You mean 28
Wait, no.
plus 8?
Do I have to do those? This is it. Both of them together, or one at a time?
For I think for Ox it's both of them, but
It is
Yeah, I think you're right.
for every instance you make
Oh,
another roll.
so I needed an
Actually,
18 and I came up short, and my freaking bard is unconscious, which would have fixed this. Dang. Oh well.
sorry, what
I
me
got more
said because I
space.
did for each
and
instance it is different.
for each instance of damage, you roll a different Constitution save to see if you keep
Well,
your concentration
so
or
does
not.
the sneak attack count as a separate instance of
No,
damage?
no,
Though?
it's the same. It's
Okay.
one
Yeah.
attack.
So
Mhm.
that means the sunbeam is gone. Sadness.
Did you put the +6 necrotic on the warrior or whatever
Not
it
yet.
is?
Let me.
Mhm.
All right. Warrior's turn. I'm
So
gonna
Oh
go
no.
here and give Delith a nice set of smacks.
I will use a shield.
Shield.
All right.
Do you want to counter that so she
You
gets
can
hit?
actually counter it if you want. Yeah, that's
Not
I
that it matters because you rolled poorly, so only one attack.
yeah. It doesn't. That's not getting me enough.
actually two of them pass. You rolled the 15 and the 19.
That's a
That's a
It's
Constitution save.
Constitution check.
it's a constitution.
Okay, okay,
oh,
okay.
My
he
dice
got
have been
hit.
horrible to me this fight. I don't see the point of dragging it out.
Yeah, you had
All
some
right,
very bad
Delith, you're
rolls.
up. Ugh. My dice have been
Uh,
terrible to me, and I just
bonus
didn't play this correctly from the beginning. Ugh.
bonus action to burn a
Mm.
first level spell slot to
Okay.
regain 2 sorcery points.
A first level for 2 points? I thought it was a first level for 1 point.
I have the chart about the sorcery points. Let me.
You're right. Never mind.
You're just
You
like,
checked it.
you dare to doubt me? You dare to doubt
Uh,
me?
I
you
just wanted
checked.
to double check. Yeah, I
No,
double
no.
checked.
I know.
Yeah, just to make sure
I'm
that I
joking.
remember correctly. Okay.
I'm just joking. I have in mind that I'm trying to still get over the counterspell war.
And
I still have the warden in my mind.
yeah, and I cast an Eldritch Blast on her. That you can counter if you.
And that one I think I will counter.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's fair.
Is Delith crazy
Oh
enough?
god.
Are you gonna do it?
Oh god.
Yes.
Be careful.
Yes. You're burning a.
Be careful.
I will burn a counter.
Oh no.
Oh,
We
you
are
want.
going full out.
Alright.
Oh,
So,
Roll your attacks.
let me toggle the normal rolls. For that.
Honestly, I'm just happy that this lasted a couple rounds. Alright, that's 12. Keep going.
Yep. Second one.
I'm learning I need to bump it up even higher next time. I hope you guys are happy.
You learning next time bring more uncountable counterspells in a counterspell fight.
No, I'm learning add more resistances and also add more fuck you options. And remember the fuck you options when I'm
oh
going into it.
no.
Looking at the
Okay.
board so early hurt me so bad. You guys have no idea.
I can imagine.
We kind of do.
Yeah.
Bards can break fights
Yeah, I know.
so
I know.
hard.
Yeah. The moment I saw you all
Uh,
go for the
That's your
bar, I
answer,
said,
Pika. Just don't use bards.
Add 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 the
Alright,
plus
so,
4. Add the plus 4
go.
to damage to one of those attacks,
so
and
that's 34 damage.
Like I was saying,
Yes.
the problem with having the bard is everyone is going to go for the bard because
End
he's
of turn.
Alright,
support. Who
Alani,
doesn't want to get rid of the support?
you're up.
It's basic.
Can take down the god horse. Do it.
Yes, use all your attacks on the horse.
Oh god.
While I'm standing more than 5 feet away.
Wait, you jump Elani's turn.
Oh, I accidentally hit enter. I apologize. Let me.
No problem.
My finger
It's
just
just not.
tapped it while I was.
I mean, if you can hit the druid.
With another breath.
Yeah. I mean, I think the druid is the problem.
Oh, that's perfect.
Because I really don't want to step into your tentacles. I'm sorry.
Don't blame you.
I mean, a part of me thinks maybe I could possibly hop into the cart.
You can try.
I'm not going to.
I need to.
Yeah, sure. I'll make
Damage,
that.
anti-magic fairy,
Doesn't
multi attacks. Yeah. Oh god, yeah, that's
It's
amazing.
not great.
Yeah.
All right. So dex save. I continue to fail, of course.
Stop, Cloud, stop.
No.
Why would I
It's
ever succeed?
it's it's what's keeping me sane, to be honest.
All right. And I'm gonna burn a key for 3 more swings against this guy.
All right, go. It's one hit.
Yikes. Not so good.
You all have our good and bad days.
All right, anything else you want to do?
King, an attack of op. So no.
All right, druid.
Is the horse trap or not? Oh, that's nice.
It is trapped and it rolls at the end of the turn to see if it gets away.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know if it was at the beginning or end. What is that? The hell he's doing?
I'm clicking on show spell description just to see
Oh.
if it works. It doesn't.
Mask your wounds.
Yeah, mask cure wounds.
We don't want that.
Want a counter spell?
Do you want to counterspell?
Damn it.
No.
Can you counterspell it?
All right.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a good question because I think it's level 5 that.
Yeah, I have to make a d20 roll plus my spellcasting modifier to see if I get to the spell's level, which means I have to roll a 15. If I do, the spell is countered.
Are you gonna roll?
Uh-huh.
Just the
You know
ability
what?
modifier or your spell casting bonus?
My spellcasting modifier.
Okay.
You know what? This is a meme fight at this point.
I'm gonna counterspell your
Oh.
counterspell.
It will be an uncounterable counterspell. That's
Oh, you're
the meme.
burning your
Yeah,
sorcery
and
points.
I have only one left.
Do it.
Let's go all out, guys. I'm
This
out
is
of.
so fucking
I,
annoying.
I'm out of third level spells. Third level spell slots, and let me make the roll. What the fuck? Mm. Come on,
Roll.
a 10
Roll.
or higher. Yes.
God damn it. This is so fucking annoying. All right, Nadia, it's your turn. I already added all the health back.
I need to play anymore.
No, we're just ending this. Let's go back to the war meeting. This is dumb. Oh, this is so frustrating.
Wait, you meant to lose? Okay.
No, I mean, I meant for you guys to just do
No,
some tracking in the setting so it wasn't just one long block of stuff. It was meant to be spread out so I could go back and forth and be an actual A and B plot, not one long slog and then one other long slog.
Sorry.
But you
Sorry
guys
for
are
that.
fucking impatient.
Hey, this was Mriss. This was all Mriss.
This was you guys as a group. None of you guys wanted to track them down in the city at all. It'd be like a couple investigation checks that wouldn't even be that hard. And that'd be about it. Like,
don't worry.
Darn. If only we had had any inkling to that. Mm.
We need,
God.
I mean, it's
we,
not like I tried to hint strongly at that at all.
we didn't want to
yeah.
deal with the police.
You did. You actually did hint at it, Pika, but
You only hit that it, but the laziness won, and the laziness lead
So
to
instead, we
this.
spent like an hour going through spell rules. Oh.
Oh god.
Anyway,
Oh my
Wait, what was the horse really?
back to making the party suffer.
Okay. Oh god, I have to come back to mentality. Okay.
Like I only hope somehow the chat could see all our memes that was posted to
They
Discord
can't.
during that fight. I
If
wish.
it wasn't too much work editing, I will ask the court to just grab screenshots of each meme. But
So
it's too much work, so I won't.
back to the discussion in the war room.
Okay.
Uh, Grand Huntress. I have to open up the NPC tag again.
Yeah.
Isadora says, in order to ensure a stable political situation going forward, the Kingdom of Magno would, once this is all over, be allowed to protect the city of Kustaberg to protect its interests in the region along the coast and to better provide guarantees that the order will not engage in aggressive behavior again.
Okay, could you repeat that because Cloud posted another meme and talked me out. Sorry.
I will stop now. The fight has ended. I can stop.
Isa-
Yeah.
Isadora
Yeah.
is saying, in order to preserve the security of the continent after this is over, the Kingdom of Magno desires to bring the city of Kustaberg under its protection and bring its soldiers there after the order is pacified.
Let me roll history to see if I. What should I roll to know
Well, you
which
can look at the map to see where
patriotic?
in the
No, I meant
handout
which.
tab you can see where Kustaberg is.
I meant more to which country it belong.
It's a free city. You'd know that. Kustaberg and Flussberg are the two major free cities along the uh, northwest coast. So they're
I.
independent. I mean, Flussberg is currently occupied and governed by
Yeah, the
the order,
order.
but before that, it was just an independent free city.
Yeah.
So basically, the elves
Okay.
are asking to bring Kustaberg into their sphere of influence,
Yeah. Yeah.
somewhat
Massive.
forcefully.
Yeah. I noticed that. Okay.
Uh, so what's your first
Uh,
reaction to this?
my first
Madrash,
reaction.
Katsuki.
Okay, okay. This is the thing because I'm trying to plan how to say. My first reaction is not let they belong just the elves, but try to convince the other two to make this a collective endeavor from both parts, or at least from the Aquarian Empire, to maintain the status quo of those two cities. That's my first reaction out of character. What I'm trying to think is how to say this. I'm saying all of this out of character.
Yeah. I mean, you might start with what kind of a check you want to make, and
Yeah,
then work from there.
that's. I know I'm going to do persuasion because it's the best check that I have. Uh, I'm trying to think how to phrase it. It's the thing to not make it sound, aggressive. To make it sound, Got it. I got it. I got it. Got it. Let me roll persuasion. Seven. Okay. I hope that my words work. Work. Matters will say, I agree that the order, even with me in charge, cannot be trusted blindly. In case, even in the case of me leaving, or in the case of any other situation, but I believe that it should be an individual endeavor, just to guarantee the status quo of give me a second. I remember the name of the city or the character. I'm sorry to
Kustaberg.
say this. Gustavberg. Yeah, to remain the status quo of Gustavberg as a neutral city. Uh, I believe that it will be in the interest of all the parties here to maintain that. So I believe that at least the other two General Mirione will agree with me on this, that it's important to maintain it and not disturb it unnecessarily, while preventing the situation to happen again.
Marion
Mhm,
looks somewhat agreeable, amenable
mhm,
to, like, uh, the Empire of Acornia agrees that the stable situation should be maintained.
mhm.
However, we do also think that some sort of force to make sure the order is under control would be good. We would like to propose an Aquarnian garrison remain in Flussburg to make sure there's no lingering order influence in the city and to guarantee that trade flow along the river can continue smoothly.
Okay.
You know,
Uh,
if both
uh,
Aquarnian and Magno are protecting the cities along the coast, it should guarantee a stable situation.
I agree, but I will prefer if forces of both countries are in both cities to guarantee that no one city side has more influence than the other over this daunting task. And with that, maybe they can set up their own system to make sure that both sides are informed and are kept up to task.
You want to make another persuasion roll on
Yeah,
that?
I'm going to do another persuasion roll on that. Please go. Okay, this is better.
They both look disappointed, but also, you
Mhm,
know, seem to have gained a measure of respect for you.
mhm,
You've seen their,
mhm.
not exactly hidden attempts to expand
Yeah.
their own country's influence in the region, and
Mhm,
the fact that you found a way to spoil that without,
mhm,
ruining your own standing with the others.
mhm,
They look at each other, and Marin
mhm,
says, "We can agree to that." He looks to
mhm.
Friedland, to Kulkis, and says, "Would Friedland also like to supply a garrison, or would you request payment for that as well?" With a bit of a barb that
Oh
unsettles
boy.
Kulkis a bit.
Uh,
Do you want to interject here, or let things
yeah,
continue playing out?
I want to interject. Let me think what I'm going to say. Because my only skill that I have on this situation is persuasion. It's the only one I can trust. So I have to think my words carefully. I know what I'm going to say. Let me roll persuasion. Okay, this is too good for this. This will have been helpful on the last two, which have me on edge. Okay. Uh, what I was going to say. Well, the phrase it in not necessarily the most kind way. I agree that I'm interested to hear Freeland's opinion regarding this and if their desire to get involved in this effort to avoid this possible any possible movement of the order against the free countries.
All right.
Mhm,
Kulkis, Marion
mhm,
seems,
mhm,
to accept your rebuff, and again,
mhm,
he seems to respect,
mhm,
how you interjected yourself there.
mhm,
Polkus looks a
mhm,
little surprised that attention has been put on him,
mhm,
him on the spot now.
mhm,
And so he kicks up a bit of bluster.
mhm,
Yes, I think Friedland could supply troops as well. However, and he turns to look at
mhm,
Medrash again. I think
mhm,
the Order could pay for all three of our nation's troops in both cities. Uh, Out of character,
yeah,
knowing the having a rough idea of the finances, that would be really
yeah.
unfeasible and not really something that you
I
can
know.
afford.
I know. I know. I'm planning to try to think about something else. how to rebuff this.
Also, Tutski, you can also like participate. You're not just here to sit or be taken out of the other combat. Cord, are you here?
Let's see.
All right, Cord's
Oh,
dead. We'll carry
I'm
on.
here. I'm here. Yeah. Give me a sec.
Oh.
I'm rolling insight on the general, General Calcus. See what his angle is with this.
He seems to mostly just be trying to play up and make a reputation for him. Like,
Yeah.
look after his own reputation.
Tutski just
He
looks.
seems really just full of hot air.
Tutski looks very, very condescending towards Calcus and goes, "Is this really about Freeland, or is this about your own personal glory?"
What kind of check do you want to make on that?
Intimidation.
Okay.
That's all I've got.
It's all I have left.
He seems a little startled and says, "Yeah, well, kind of just sputtering off."
Be mindful of why you're here, General. You will earn glory through this venture, yes, but never put it over the interests of our people and the mission. Do I make myself clear?
Diego, watching events unfurl, says, "I think we've made good progress on this. I think that we've agreed that we need to try to keep status quo on the coast going, for at least a little while, and I'm sure no one wants to keep their troops there indefinitely, so perhaps the different countries paying their own costs will help encourage them to leave in a timely manner."
Matters
Agreed.
would just do an agreement note. What they were saying.
Tutski also nods in agreement.
All right. Well, I think that's that settled. Any other orders of business that we want to cover right away?
Tutski will look very hard at Calcus, reading his posture, see if her words have settled in.
And this is
He
not my
definitely
best.
seems he definitely
Go on.
seems diminished.
I'm going to roll insight to see if I can get a read on any of the other two. Okay.
It's
A 12. It's
yeah. I mean, it's better than you read that they're kind of viewing you better than before, but
no, not necessarily my
yeah.
standing.
Yeah, I know.
I know
Just in
in
general,
really not good.
they kind of don't like Calcus. They
Yeah.
generally respect Diego.
Mhm.
Their opinion of you has increased marginally,
Mhm.
though there are still some questions
Doubts. Mhm.
and doubts.
Okay.
Kind of similar with Tutski. Um,
Okay. How do I do this? Because I don't want to leave, doubts in my dealership.
Tutski's not that bothered about doubts
Um,
in her. She's more trying to make sure Medrash's standing's okay. She's doing her best to keep the Freeland General under control to help Diego with that.
I'm going to roll persuasion.
on who? Like towards who?
This is the thing. I'm not doing it towards any. I'm not doing it towards calculus. I'm doing it through Isadora and Marione. I want to try to flush out anything else that they want to discuss. That's what I will try to do with this persuasion. Is that possible or?
Yeah, you can try that.
Okay. No, almost a 20 that is. Okay, Mirage is going to say, well, not necessarily looking those two, but clearly giving a hint, that it's going to those two. If there is anything else that anyone believes that it's necessary to be brought on, and when he says anyone, then he looks at those two. I think now would be the best time to say it, so we can proceed moving forward into the important matters and doing all of this endeavor. The quicker, the better to solve any kind of issue that could be brought later on could be easily be smashed down.
I think the main matter at this point will be actually accomplishing what we've set out to do. So I think our key aims are we need to ensure the elimination of the Grandmaster and Archpriest. Because at the very least, we cannot let them remain and continue to
Yeah.
wage their war.
Mhm.
But I think we all already knew that and agreed.
Mhm.
So
Very
all
well.
right. I think all right. So Diego at this point is standing up. Right. I think that was fairly productive. We're just about ready for our final preparations. We'll probably begin embarking the troops and getting going in short order. We don't want to waste too much time, as everyone has made clear it is expensive
Me-
to keep an army.
Besides, the longer we
Medrash agrees.
Tuxki will interject, and besides, there's also the fact the longer we delay, the more chance Flussberg will be utterly annihilated, and we need to try and save as many as we can.
Besides, no one would like to lose such an important city. Both the loss of people and position will be
And
very
and
dangerous.
and the loss of trade along that route would be extremely
I mean, okay, so
impactful.
just an out of character reminder.
Yeah.
Flussberg is already occupied. Are you
Yeah.
guys talking about Flussberg or Kustaberg?
I'm talking about the remnants of the Flussberg garrison at the village.
Okay, I
Yeah.
mean they're outside of the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also
Yeah.
losing them would also lose us any allies in that region.
Medrash is
Okay, I
talking
just
more.
wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page for
Yeah.
Yeah,
what was happening.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because it's not like they're still fighting in the city itself. There's more
No.
a resistance on the outskirts.
Yeah, we know we mean the outskirts. What Medrash is going more is like the more the influence of the order spreads through Flussberg,
Yeah.
the more
Okay,
damage it will do later on. That's what he's trying to
I
say.
just thought it sounded like there might be a bit of a difference, so I just wanted to make
Oh
sure.
yeah.
no.
Medras is talking about the
We know.
influence. Tutski was
Yeah.
talking about the people.
Yeah. I'm trying to. What Medrash is trying to do is, I get where Tatsky is going, and I agree, but I'm not sure how much they are interested on that. So I will try to appeal for
Yeah,
the interest of the countries.
the order. Well, the order won't be. I'm not. I know they won't be interested in the actual people, but Tutski's more putting it across
Yeah.
as more allies and more people to help with the fight rather than just these people need saving. It's
Mhm.
more well.
Yeah.
The more people we can save in Frostborn, the more troops we have for our final push.
Mhm.
Is how she's phrasing it.
Yeah. Well.
Because we're already diminishing our forces by leaving a garrison on Drakenberg. Linking up with the Fussberg forces will somewhat make up for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. So, pick up.
Yeah. All right. So I was just trying to get things prepared for the other
Mhm.
thing, but it's
Back
not.
to
I'm not
the
finding what I want.
back to
I'm
the
not finding
counter
what I
problem.
want. So whatever.
back to the plot being counterspell.
All right.
Oh god.
Plop. All right. So you've got horse is gone. You've got the
Horse
guys
is gone.
captured.
No, that is impossible.
Again, the horse was an outside force of
No,
someone
the
that
druid
pissed off
just
the
really liked the horse and kept making it better.
No, the horse
Listen,
is
I was,
the
Oh,
see,
acolyte of
I was thinking
Bahamut.
you were gonna try to steal from the cart at first and just do it that way, not just openly approach the people. And I was gonna have the make a joke about the horse reporting you for that. That's not how it ended up going.
Telling the truth,
Obviously.
telling the truth, at first I thought of something else, but if that didn't work, we were going to lose them, and I was like,
Again, like I was trying to make it clear that they're in a hurry, so it's relatively easy to track them. But whatever.
oh, Pika, just to be clear, I got your
Yeah,
hint
yeah.
about them going the other way, but
He like it more to do this.
I'm playing as Delhi.
This
Yeah.
is Delith,
All right.
yes.
Okay, so
The thing, at least for me, I was thinking of like, okay, if we chase them and we have to deal with them in the city, maybe they will have guards, or like they will tell it to
Support.
the guards, so we will have to deal with the guards of the city too, which I didn't want to bother have to
Okay.
deal with.
The first thing I will
That was
do.
my thought, not
Mentality.
that it was correct. Yeah, no, not that it was correct, but that was my mentality.
anyway, well, you guys have them tied up. Nez is digging through the cart
Yeah,
and
I will
pocketing
join
some
him.
stuff.
I will join him and say, "So, see anything interesting? I guess you do."
Yes,
I'm
I
going
got
to
what
ask Delis,
I got what
so
I wanted from here.
what is this all about?
We are rescuing captives.
You can see like just a small portal opening up and Nez putting
What
the
captives?
urns and lamps through it.
I cannot checking the fuck out of this.
It's a planar ship.
No,
He's sticking the stuff into a different plane.
no, not that portal, the staff.
Well, you heard of a genie in a lamp, right?
You're saying it to my brain, or Nurse is saying it to me?
That's the DM saying it to the player, so the player knows what their character understands.
Oh
Yeah, I
god,
have
it's
heard
gonna
about
be.
the genie in
Oh
the
god,
lamp. I have heard about a
Delith's gonna
lot of
rub.
genies and lamps. Let's continue.
Delith's gonna rub it, and a blue version of Robin Williams is gonna pop out the spout.
So all these are genies in a lamp.
Not all of Are you saying that as a character, or just yourself? As a
Let
person?
me rephrase it. So all those lamps include genies.
Nez speaks up. Not all of them, but a couple. Though some of them aren't even mine, but you know what? I'll take them anyway. And he just keeps putting them through the planar shift.
Say,
Where are you putting them?
That's my business.
Roll
Elani,
insight.
I cannot intimidate him that it's his own business. Like what? It is his only business. What I'm
Unfortunately,
getting it from.
I'm the intimidate guy.
Yeah,
So
like if Elani can intimidate, otherwise I don't think I can.
yeah, unfortunately, your main intimidate guy's
I mean, if
busy
you
in
suspect this guy to be warlock, potentially be a warlock patron, which would make him like an otherworldly deity tier thing, you can try to intimidate that.
I mean, to be fair, my
I
first ever
won't stop you.
I mean, to be fair, my first ever D&D campaign, I did manage to intimidate a gold dragon.
Anyway, let's hope I roll 20.
Oh,
Good God.
man!
Keep to what you're good
Okay,
at.
what I miss?
Okay.
Oh, you ain't here. Okay.
You
Yeah.
missed Cloud
So-
trying to intimidate a warlock genie
So
thing.
basically, what happened is I was like, uh, Nez was putting the lamps inside the portal, and I'm asking him where is he sending them, because I realized those are genies in lamps. Those are the
Yeah.
prisoners, basically, that he was talking about. So I'm like, where are you actually sending them? And Nez says, it is my own business, and I'm taking none of it,
And
basically.
she failed intimidation.
So
Badly.
yeah,
Like-
if you want to help on that,
Like, there's a
sure.
bit of isolate in Nez's voice when he says, "Yeah, stick to what you're good at."
I say, now, don't be rude. I mean, hey Ned.
What?
Wait a second.
Uh,
Wait a second.
it
Yes,
looks
I
like he's
actually.
looking at the last couple lamps, holding it up, kind of putting it to his ear, shaking it a bit, and then puts one of
Darren
them back
wanted to say
down. All
something.
right, I think I've got through all the important ones. I don't think
Did-
any of these other are anything other than regular stuff.
Darren wanted to say something.
Yeah, Darren wanted to say something.
What do you want to say?
I am going to tap into the power of dragons
All right,
to basically roll this twice and say,
Okay.
"Are you sure?" You could probably imagine dragon
yeah, I know.
Behind, yeah,
volume
Elani
speech coming
there.
out my mouth.
Yeah.
Don't roll a
They-
one. I have seen somebody doing that and rolling a one.
So
Oh!
whichever
Close.
one of those.
Is higher.
14 is higher. Nez looks at you, nonplussed, and says, "Don't push your luck." Like, this is a scrawny imp, but he is looking at you very seriously, saying, "Do not push on this."
Hey,
However, as
why are we?
thanks, he reaches into the planar portal and actually pulls some stuff out.
Mhm.
He pulls out 2 glowing orbs of energy.
If he pulls a hand crossbow that screams every time I attack, I'm not getting it.
I should have done that, but no.
God damn it.
That would be amazing,
No.
actually.
He gets back to
As-
camp. He gets back to camp saying,
Oh.
"Hey Tutski, I've got a present for you." A giant great sword that just starts singing like Nessun Dorma
Oh, no.
just randomly.
Anyway,
Oh,
as
no.
he pulls these 2 orbs out of the planar portal closes. As thanks for the service you've rendered me, I'll give you this. It's not as nice as a, small army of genies, but it's probably worth something. These orbs will let you increase an item's magic level by +1.
Ooh, and
And
we
then
have
we
2 of them.
And there's 2 of them.
we are cursed forever.
One to Tutski, one to Nadia's crossbow.
Okay,
Got it.
question.
No. It's not turn a item into a +1. It's increase an item
Increase.
by
A
+1.
question, not question. Inside to, and there's nothing negative for it. Inside.
Why are you so?
You don't detect any malice, and you continue to wear on Nez's patience.
That is
Why are you
Do
that,
you
so
want
that,
these or
antagonistic,
no?
everyone? Okay, this is time out. This is why I don't tell you stuff like that, because you get, I mean, maybe understandably, and you get a bit too.
Confrontational.
I said I would say
I was just offering a suggestion for wording.
yeah no I, I would say too suspicious. I mean, hey Nez.
the suspicion out of character. Have you seen what has happened with me and Magic lately? In character now.
Yeah, I know, but
I said out of character. Don't
okay.
don't respond on that.
And well, Nez has been a very good friend for
5
as
minutes.
long as I can remember, actually. So yes,
He's been a
I-
good
You
friend
mean
for the last
from
5
level
minutes.
5?
he has never let me down, and I have never
He's
let
never
him
gonna give
down.
you up.
At
Not
least,
gonna go around and desert you.
No, God, it's another copyright
Oh,
strike.
God.
I'm sorry, that is such a meme. If it was actually a copyright strike, then so many videos would be taken down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Anyway, go
so-
on.
yeah. So Nez, I understand that the poor guys will be safe now, right?
Well, they're definitely in my care.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Out of character, I wonder what in care means right now,
Plot
but
twist.
I'm not. I'm definitely cannot push that, so let's proceed.
Plot twist: Nez
Yeah.
was the actual main antagonist for the campaign.
I'm pretty sure that will be the twist.
Yeah.
Let's proceed.
Yeah, I'm thinking this initially looked like simply familiar, but now, yeah, this is turning pretty suspicious.
I mean, I knew that from level 5 or 3 when not knew that. I was
To be,
suspecting that, but anyway.
I will say this, and if they're having in mind that there is, Eldritch and all of that, I said, okay, let's give it the benefit of the doubt of just being, it's the class, okay. This whole situation, yeah, this cemented.
Uh,
Oh,
We are
Ness,
becoming paranoid. Don't worry about it.
can we trade?
I
What are you?
mean,
What are they
you get
trading?
he's giving you as a group the
Yeah.
two spheres, so you get to choose what you want to use it on.
Okay.
Huh.
Can we
Like
trade the two spheres for one of them?
out, out of,
No.
out of character. We need to use them now, or the other party members can also use
I
them.
mean, it's up to you guys. It's given to you three because you're the ones who helped him on his errand.
Okay, let's not discuss it right now and let's proceed. We are taking them and okay,
Hmm.
let's discuss it out of session.
Okay.
Anyway,
Will
we
any
can
of
carry on.
them? Okay.
My thing is done.
Will any of them will be thankful and maybe fulfill a wish at some point if we really wanted?
Oh, I'm sure they'll fill my wishes.
Hey, don't be
Out
don't
of
be like that.
character, out of character, can we kill Ness literally right now? We have evidence.
I don't think we
uh,
can out of game.
uh, if you want to take that risk,
Out of
go
character, I
ahead.
said. But yeah, sure.
He can probably just pop out of existence, so
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, Nez only has 13 AC and 10 hit points. He can't be that dangerous, can he?
That means I
Sure.
can cast sleep, and he will fall asleep.
Yes.
Maybe. Let's
Look,
proceed.
Unless he
this is
uses
a problem.
counterspell.
Anyway, okay. Happy that I was able to be of assistance.
Hey, you didn't get nothing out of it, so
Oh, of course. Because if I got nothing out of it, you would never hear the end of it.
yeah, that's why I tolerate you sometimes. Also, the entertainment is also good. Anyway, I'll let you get back to your stuff. Don't mind me.
Okay.
Everyone minds him.
So you get to the city uneventfully. Um, is there
And
anything you actually want to do buying
yeah,
there?
there is one thing that I will say during to the other two during our voyage there.
Mhm.
See, we got to do an errand as well. We got a nice reward, and we got to rescue a few people. Although they are not people in the normal kind of sense, I guess. But
We rescued some imaginary friends.
you can roll an insight if you want about this.
What, that you're not sure what they are? Oh, now I roll at 27.
Okay, you can both see uh, that Delith is questioning whether
It is a good deed or
these
not.
guys are in better are in a better situation now or not.
Depends
Mm.
on what bit of hell, stomach, or wherever they are right now. And
Yes,
Apparently, they've been put
out
into
of
the
character, all that.
Apparently, they've been put on a Cthulhu plane.
as for Nadia, because you rolled 27, I'd say that you've been with Delith long enough to understand that she has on her mind. Well, uh, I never had problems, but then again, I've never been a problematic person towards him.
Oh yeah. Um, oh, of course, darling. Of course. Uh, oh, yeah, of course, darling. You never have been. You're always trying to help everybody around you. Uh, and make a good story about it. I wonder, will you have any song about all this situation? Was that an inspiring endeavor?
It was somewhat. We'll see.
So let's go back to shopping right now. I think after a
Looking around,
some
not
res-
shopping yet.
some rescuing, we will need our shopping therapy. Don't you agree?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I do agree.
So out of character, let's continue with what we
Yeah.
were doing. We were supposed to be doing.
Wait, what were we doing again?
At this point, I don't know, and probably I need a beer if I don't, even if I don't
Uh,
drink.
I thought you guys were purchasing supplies for your.
yeah, for
Yeah, that.
getting into the getting around the Dragonspur for infiltration and all of that. Yeah, or task.
So we're the Fort.
Also, remember that I asked you, Nadia, try to make sure if you can to leave some money so you can buy. I can buy a longbow and arrows.
Do you want that longbow to be a +2 also?
No, normal one. I'm not looking for anything fancy. I'm looking for something that I can use on long distance.
No, I mean we could use the orbs. That's what I meant. But anyway, let's continue. Um,
To be honest,
uh,
I'll discuss it later. But already, I'm
yeah.
thinking the best use of the would be
Yeah.
one on Tutski's sword and one on Nadia's crossbow.
I don't know the other options
Yeah.
outside of that,
Okay.
so we will discuss it later. Let's
Exactly,
proceed.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
we
just
can discuss it
Yeah,
it's just my first.
when we
We'll
finish.
discuss it later, but it's just the first thing that came to mind.
exactly. We discuss it later because.
All right, so, you guys get back to camp. The war meeting is adjourned.
Mhm.
Tutski
In
looks
private, Diego pulls you aside and says,
Yeah.
"All right, so just to let you in on
Mhm.
a heads up on what on what the plan was to get you inside and
Mhm.
why the rest of the leaders don't know about it."
Medash at this looks at him before he says on it. It's around what we our group knows, isn't it? We're looking at him, giving it like an indication that he means him.
Well, let's just say Dalith is finally gonna get a ride.
I imagine, says Medrash that.
Oh boy, Tutski says, half
And Dalith,
sarcastically.
you are part of that conversation.
Oh,
I'm part of
jeez.
this conversation. Wait, what?
Yes, this is the
Oh,
entire party and Diego.
oh, okay. That wasn't clear. I thought it was
Yeah,
after
sorry.
the
It's the
meeting. You
entire it's
pulled
the
just me
entire
and that.
party and Diego. He pulled you aside to say, "Yeah,
Yeah.
Dalith, you're getting that ride you wanted." So putting together the fact that I want you to make sure you have Featherfall should give you an idea of what the plan is.
That should be for
Wait,
all
wait.
of us, right?
Are
You
Wait,
see,
have we come
are
back?
you taking us?
He gives you a
That's immediately elbows
playful
Elani.
smile.
Yeah.
Delith is ecstatic.
Tutski will shrug.
I can't. He says, "I won't be able to stay and help. I've got other errands I have to run to try to make things run as smoothly as possible for this. But I'll at least get you there."
Madrasha, this is worry not. It's already more than faithful that you were doing this for us. I imagine the moment you told me last night all of this, I just kept quiet for the sake of not spraying the world until the whole group was together. I was waiting for that, but
Tutski just shrugs and looks at Dev and go, "Yeah, more material for your songbook."
Oh yes, yes, this is definitely going down in a song.
Anyway,
just
so
speaking about you. Sorry.
as Diego, so we'll
Mhm.
probably be setting off in a day or two. As was
Perfect.
said at the meeting, we don't want to dally too long.
That's this is perfect. Then we can begin. We can communicate tonight. The less.
Yeah.
This.
Okay. Oh, also something that we forgot. We didn't kill the three guys.
That's not important. Like they were literally just supposed to be an interesting combat fight,
Okay. Okay.
which lessons learned. I'll take note of that for
Yeah.
future.
Don't use
Oh god.
bards.
No,
Oh
use
god.
bards, but make sure everyone has more hit points.
No,
Oh god.
there are two stuff you need to do. One, put 20 wizards hiding in the trees that no counter.
No, I need
Second,
to
Wait.
just have more spellcasting actions available.
We
That's the
Finish
big
must
thing.
Cloud, and then I will
prolong the
say my opinion,
counterspell.
please.
We must prolong the counterspell competition.
Oh
It is the
god.
28 to Furies.
See, I'm pretty
28
sure that every character had enough HP to last one round of average damage, which is why that managed to go out to like 3 or 4 rounds. But I only had enough HP to last like 3 to 4 rounds. So clearly the joke's on me there. I needed to go for more like 6 plus to actually get mechanics going. Oh well.
And next time have over 9,000 HP, otherwise it is not
Uh,
effective.
No.
what I was going to say is two things. First of all, when you said there was some hidden magic, I thought, oh, this is going to be an encounter that has a lot of wizards, and they're going to get away because of that. The main perpetrators was my idea. And then when I saw they were three momentaries, oh, so it's three bosses. Oh, they have life like a normal encounter. This is not going to last long.
Well, see, the bard had mechanics to reduce your guys' rolls or increase his own teams. I kind of forgot about that till it was too late.
Oh, he had the bardic inspiration, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It was on
imagine.
recharge just so I wasn't spamming it every turn. I was worried it'd be too powerful and annoying, but yeah.
Say
Anyway,
That's
this
the reason why
because
you always target the bard.
yeah, exactly. What I was going to say. This is
I
what
didn't
you
put enough
don't use.
tools in to protect the bard is one of the lessons in. Okay,
Uh,
anyway.
what I was going to say is this is the lesson you have to take out of this because we see any kind of status dealer. The first thing we're going to do is take care of that. We are all experienced in RPGs and D&D. It's like, yeah, that makes a status that has to
I
go.
was hoping the fighter would be able to do enough damage to keep you focused on him. Unfortunately, no.
He
Yeah.
was just kind of
Just
flailing.
didn't have enough. Anyway, let's save
Yeah.
that conversation for later and just wrap up.
Yeah.
How about we just start the next session with the message to the parents?
Yeah.
That way
with
you've
that.
got time to get it ready, and I've got time to figure out how
Yeah.
I plan to probably.
One
You can
final
send
point.
me it, and I can start getting plans for
Yeah.
how to respond to it before
Obviously,
we actually do the session.
Also, we are getting full rest and stuff like that. Yeah, right?
Yeah, you'll be
Yeah.
getting a full rest. No,
And
you're going immediately to the island, no rest.
and pick out. We get all
Yeah.
the supplies off screen, basically.
Yeah, I didn't know what kind of supplies you were
Yeah.
needing.
So
We get the supplies of suppliness.
Yeah,
Like,
we
honestly,
got,
my first
It-
again, well, okay, talk about it after the episode's over.
yeah,
So,
we got,
sit for
we got
this
supply.
week. Remember to end the episode. Next time we actually hit the island. Like I said, we are in the end game.
Woo.
Things are coming to a happy big conclusion. Act 3, all that jazz.
Woo.
We're in the
Oh.
end game now.
So
Yeah.
this is an eventful session. We saw how not to use a bard. We saw how complicated counterspell competitions can get.
No. We experience modern Yu-Gi-Oh. I negate you. No, I negate you. No, I negate you. No, I negate you.
Okay, let's wrap the episode and then have our inane discussions.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we also witnessed Tutski's version of hell, but she managed it. But anyway, goodbye everyone, and join us next week for whatever the fuck we're doing. Bye.